What's happening, guys? Welcome to Pro Wrestle Times Podcast, episode 102. That's right. I am your host, Phil S. Marks, and we are back with Pro Wrestle Times Podcast, and this is the first official one of 2026. Sort of taking a bit of a hiatus. You guys know I don't like asking people for shit. I don't like bugging people to be guests on my show and stuff. But I do have a guest, and the podcast is where a lot of the guests are going to be. And I am going to start bugging people for you guys and doing a lot of these compelling interviews and having cool guests on and buddies on and stuff that I know you guys miss. Or also, you know, just interviews. I was like doing a lot of great interviews the last couple years, and I just kind of stopped. You know, it's not my cup of tea to be bothering people and dragging them into my controversial shit, but one person who's definitely always in the controversial shit, his name is JJ Joseph J. Alexander, who is my guest today at JJ_Alexander, and he is here. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So JJ, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, dealing with a massive amount of snow here on the East Coast. Apparently, it's just going to get piled on more in the next 6 days. So,
yeah,
hunkering
dude,
down.
We have it up here too, man. We got it up here, up north here in old Canada there, buddy. And JJ, you guys can follow him at JJ_Alexander, or of course the Full Circle Radio Network on at Full Circle Radio on YouTube there. And my guy JJ and I, we link up. We've done a bunch of stuff. If you're a fan of the PWT live shows on YouTube, if not, make sure you check that out at Pro Wrestle Clips on YouTube, and also patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. But to get the plugs out of the way, me and JJ, we've linked up and done a bunch of stuff, you know, talking on the live shows and over on Patreon and whatnot. And you are a guy who's been involved in the wrestling business. And this show, we are going to talk about another side of the wrestling business, and one agent called LoPiccolo and how he views the wrestling business, and of course his feud with Tony Khan. And we've chronicled a lot of it on the live show. We're going to give a quick recap of sort of how it all started and how it unfolded, and then this podcast is going to encapsulate basically the aftermath, or what came of it all post LoPiccolo leaving Paradigm, and how it connects to fucking bots and the Epstein Files even. And I'm not joking, it's actually fucking crazy. But first, my guy JJ, I love your perspective on wrestling. We don't always agree on everything, but why don't you tell the good folks, in case they don't know, like, what's your background? You're a former booker or current booker. You're fucking an announcer. You're fucking done everything in the biz. You've trained and shared locker rooms alongside some of the greats. Why don't you just flex a little bit, brag a little bit, let people know all about, like, what's your history in the wrestling biz, in case they don't know?
I don't like to brag too much. Yeah, started in late
sure.
04. started in late 04. Trained by Justin Credible and by the late Mike Milano. Started off doing commentary and ring announcing. Worked my way up to managing. Then along the way, I started co-booking for the company I started with, Defiant Pro Wrestling. After that went by the wayside, when Mike passed away, I took some time off, came back, was doing commentary for a company called New England Frontier Wrestling, started helping book with them. That company merged into a company called Revival Pro Wrestling, helping book for them. And then their owner died. I feel like I'm cursed, and started my own company, Dissension Pro Wrestling, where I was the head booker. Still am technically. Company was a hiatus because myself and one of my business partners had several health problems over the years, and other stuff takes a back burner. But that doesn't mean DPW is gone and forgotten by any means. In the meantime, I stay as active as possible, talking to young talents. I'll slip into local wrestling academies to help see how kids are training and everything, and I work on the Full Circle Radio Network. We have a wrestling podcast, White Heat. We have a movie review podcast called Wildcard Cinema. We also have a watch-along show called Cinematic Jackass. I also have a couple other shows called Catharsis and Brass Tacks, which I'm working on getting back to in the new year now. It kind of took some time off from both of those. And I make the rounds as possible. So I just go where I'm needed right now.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, well, I love having you around, and I love you and I go back and forth. We agree with a lot. We disagree with a lot. One thing we can both agree on, though, is that pro wrestling and the IWC is just become an utterly toxic, sludgy playground of, and all of social media really has. You know what I mean? But like, it's gotten pretty ugly with trolls over the last like couple years, especially since the inception of AEW. I don't want to just say, "Oh, trolls," like a fucking boomer and sound, "Oh, trolls are trolling me," man. It's not that. We all deal with it, but one person who chose to like really get his fucking hands dirty and go to war with people who, I mean, fuck, I consider them NPCs and bots for the most part, right? Like Tony Khan has accused WWE of using bot farms and shit, and then it turns out Tony Khan's using bot farms and shit. And Nick LoPiccolo, he rolled his sleeves up, he got down and dirty, and he started going after the Marks, the Sickos, and he started going after Tony Khan, not even really going after him, just pointing out his shortcomings.
Guys, Tony Khan!
And how like the Hollywood agencies or how people view him, shining light. He's somebody in the business who represents people. If you're not familiar, Nick LoPiccolo, he worked for Paradigm, and he represented or he represents, rather, I don't mean to like misrepresent who he represents. That's why I kicked your leg from your leg, Brett. But but Nick, he represents CM Punk. What are some other names?
Jade, Tiffany,
Monroe, Jade, Tiffany, Roman. He represents a bunch of other people that aren't public about it, right? He represents Eric Bischoff, but he also represents a bunch of wrestlers and some celebrities and athletes, and a bunch of them are public. There's a bunch that aren't public either, and just sort of flexing on behalf of Nick. Like, he's a legit guy in the business, and where this all started was he pointed out that Tony Khan didn't have good catering and whatnot at one of
so I think it went a little before that. Like, that was where his jump point was, but it was something about it was Meltzer spouting off, and like it just came across his feed somehow, and he was like, this dude doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So he just started that. And then when people started going, well, who the fuck are you? That's when he was just like, I've been at these things. And he mentioned that he was at the Dynamite, the Dynamite in LA when it was the big refurb, when they added the light up entranceway and all that stuff. It was supposed to be, it was the night MJF did the "You fucking Mark" promo.
Right. And
he was there.
They were invited. So basically a bunch of these Hollywood agents and executives and whatnot were invited, and Nick pointed out, he's like, look, dude, and yes, guys, for people who think that what I'm about to say is pompous and pretentious and shit, yeah, that's how Hollywood works, man. So
yeah,
it's not even pretentious, but it's like, you invited this executive there because you're trying to impress him. So Nick pointed out, we had no private access. We had to walk in with all the normal people with our kids. Our seats were whatever. He's like, I had fucking drunk guys trying to fuck with me, scared my kid because drunk guys were like fucking with me in the crowd. He's like, we go to the back. There's no food. There's not even drinks. He's like, dude, we get invited to this place all the time. Like, we had to drive an hour or whatever the fuck to Inglewood or whatever the fuck he's talking about, right? He's like, dude, we had to do all of these things. And Tone just like, I want him to understand how, you know, this reflected poorly on the company and Tony himself. And he was already kind of, the mumblings around Tone is that he's a bit of a joke, right? And so I think another agent or two actually backed Nick up in this initially too. But Nick's the guy who chose, I'm gonna fucking, because he's a wrestling fan. He knows pro wrestling. His mentor was a pro wrestling fan as well and represented wrestlers and stuff like this. So he's like, well, fuck it. I'm going to go at these wrestling sickos. These other agents who backed him up initially, they didn't catch no heat because they didn't like go at Tony Khan. They just were like, yeah, he's telling the truth type thing. Like, you know, people don't understand. This is why WWE is the big time in comparison. And I mean, that's some Hollywood fuck shit, but that's what it is. Like, why else did you invite them there? You're trying to, you know, show off to them a little bit and treat these people like you want them to treat your clients like a big deal because you treat them like a big deal. And if that's how you treat your guests, then how the fuck are you treating the people who live in the home? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I'm getting off in the weeds here, but Nick, from then on, he started getting attacked and harassed and doxxed and falsely doxxed and things of this nature by a slew of what people call AEW sickos and some of these bot accounts online, and that you would consider bots like maybe they're operated by real people, but it's probably a burner, it's probably an alt, it's probably an NPC essentially. Like, who knows if they're paid, if it's like Tony's burners, nobody knows. So what happened was LoPiccolo blew up the spot. LoPiccolo blew up Tony Khan's spot and was basically like, he called him out after like a long back and forth, and Dave Meltzer ignoring Nick, and it's a back and forth, but like talking past each other. You know what I'm saying, JJ? Like they were, it's like Dave Meltzer, and it seems as though the wrestlers, and like Ricochet did go at LoPiccolo, and some of these wrestlers did go at LoPiccolo, but they were sort of like at war talking past each other. Like Tone and Dave might tweet things out that you could interpret as responses to LoPiccolo, or wrestlers and other people would spout some things on social media that seemed as though they might be directed at him, but they're all blocking each other and shit like that. And Dave Meltzer went on the message boards and told all the message board sickos, hey, this is really an agent and look out for this guy and da-da-da-da-da-da. I've spoken with Nick a handful of times, and he's definitely a real dude who fucking represents these people. That's all I can say, right? And shout him out. He's listened to PWT quite a bit. He's actually used me early on in this situation too. He used a bunch of my rants and clips of me going off, and he would take the audio and put it to like Nas's Ether. The beat from like Ether, and it's like me ripping Dave Meltzer or ripping Tony Khan or whatever. And so shout out LoPiccolo for that. But pretty much what happened was he got into the weeds, and JJ, I want your thoughts on all this, but he got into the weeds with the sickos. They started doxing him, falsely doxing him, doxing people who weren't him, trying to accuse him of domestic abuse and all of these things. And then what happened was he blew up Tone's spot, where he revealed like, look, motherfucker, these are your burners and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. How did he expose them actually? Like, what actually triggered the event of Ron, this account called Ron and a bunch of numbers? What triggered Ron, and then these other accounts like AEW Shield, and a bunch of them deleted, and they just disappeared, deleted all their tweets and vanished from Twitter, and they all locked down or disappeared, literally deleted. Some of the most prominent sickos that were terrorizing people fucking disappeared. And this is right when LoPiccolo called out Tone for having all these burners. What exactly triggered it, though? I forget. I know that I've talked about it on the live shows, but
so Nick lost it when people like it was during the doxing thing, when they were like trying to say he was this other guy who lived in another part of the country, and it was when he went after BJ Bethel and Baydala, the two of them. He went after them saying they're not real journalists, yada yada. And that's when one of the burners, I don't remember which, started posting pictures of Nick's daughter, and that's when Nick lost it, which rightfully so. Because, and it was like the first time it happened was like at like 2:00 in the morning or something. He's like, I get a notification and there's a picture of my daughter on Twitter. And like, right. So of course I would have lost it too, because that's beyond dirty pool. That's like, it's the fact that you're going after this guy who has the only connection he has to the wrestling business is that he represents some high caliber people and helps them get their contracts done. Besides that, he has no effect on anything on television for either company. Like none of that.
Well,
not
on WWE or AEW television, but as far as television and movies, like he's been helping wrestlers get these movie roles and shit too. Hollywood's working around WWE. He is a pivotal player in that position.
Right, but I'm saying he has no effect on the
creative in WWE.
What happens on SmackDown or what happens on Dynamite. He has nothing to do with any of that. So he shouldn't, like, for them to come after him. It just shows the mentality of these basement goblins who must defend Tony at all costs, and it's so freaking ridiculous. It is mind-boggling. We know that there's bots and people who've been hired to go after people like Nick for Tony. We know that Tony was part of a message board faction back in the day, which was like the geekiest thing in the world. But how it was a group of like 8 guys on the observer board who like thought they were king shit of fuck mountain. And I can guarantee you that he probably went out and contacted these guys and was like, listen, I want you to go out and freaking find some people, pay them in crypto to create accounts and go after this particular guy, because Tony is that thin-skinned of a man-child. And Nick caught on right away because it's in Hollywood. I think it's because it coincided. It was a bunch of accounts who had like 3 followers who had all been created in the past like 6 to 8 months, coming after him in particular, that had like no posts of their own, trying to dox his daughter. And on top, happened at the exact same time he started catching heat at Paradigm. He was getting emails from Bernie that they were getting bothered by Wasserman and Bernie Cahill telling him
we're gonna get to that. And he proved that it was Tony Khan, essentially. Like, he's shown screen grabs and shit.
Right.
And he did some crazy shit. But I actually, it triggered my memory. I remember what it was. He tagged fucking the NFL commissioner or whatever.
Yes.
And he tried to break it as like a big story. And he tagged people in the NFL and whatnot. And he goes, I sent a post at 2:56 a.m. tagging NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Less than 15 minutes after 3:10 a.m., my ex account got locked for promoting self-harm to an account harassing me at Ron11479820, saying they have private info about me. Yeah, right, buddy. The timing is chef's kiss. Now, guys, this gets even crazier than all the shit we've been saying. I assure you. But yeah, so he tagged Roger Goodell or whatever the fuck, and he tagged the commish, and he was tagging all this shit. And then that's when all of these accounts scattered, deleted a billion tweets, or disappeared. Like, they literally just deleted, locked down. This one account called I think AEW Shield. Yes. Who would comment under every single one of my posts.
Yep, they came after me a lot too.
Not even being disrespectful or coming after, quote unquote. Like, AEW Shield just would try to prove points, but just couldn't fucking. Is just a dummy, just a big dummy, and they disappeared. And that's an account that like wasn't even necessarily a crazy unhinged person. They just would always, if you ever say anything about AEW, all they do is share AEW stuff and then respond to you with some bullshit, nonsensical argument about like why whatever you're saying negative about AEW is incorrect or whatever. And that's fine. People are allowed to do that. Like, AEW Shield is fine. He's not even like but even that account dipped out. And it's like, there was a bunch of them.
Well, they changed their name and then dipped out.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like, they keep coming. A lot of these people too, they keep like leaving X, coming back, being like, I'm back, and then getting banned again. And it's like, there's a reason that keeps happening. Right?
Who was that one person that they created like 12 accounts in the matter of a month? Was it Voice of
I don't know, man, but that's cooked, bro. Everywhere, people gotta chill, dude.
And here's one of the things that I think helped Nick and was detrimental to Tony and the bots is the fact that right around when all this started piping up was when Elon updated Twitter. And they did it to the fact where it was, because before you couldn't figure it out, but now you could click on the person's about info and it will show what country they're based in. But next to it, you can see a little symbol to see if that's really the country they're based in or if it's from behind a VPN.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That's why, because anytime I talk about Nick, bots come after me. And I look at when their account was created, how many followers they have, and where it says it was created, and if there's a little either exclamation point or a shield next to the thing, because that means it's from a VPN. And so that's when I go, this many followers, account was created a month ago, shut the fuck up, bot. And I use the gif of the monkeys on the keyboards from Superman.
That's a good one. That's like what it is. But this Ron
if you look at my timeline and click media, you'll just see that over and over again.
So this Ron guy, he has people connected dots, right? And I guess he has an affinity for Paul Rudd, and so does Tony Khan, and I guess Orange Cassidy, is like Paul Rudd was asked about and then Orange Cassidy, like this could no, I don't even want to throw shit out there. It's all great, but this could be anyone's burner. Is this Orange Cassidy's burner? Is this Tony Khan's? Is this just a hardcore Tony Khan and Orange Cassidy fans burner? Who knows? But there's a connection there. Even the Jefferson Starship song or whatever, where
all of that goes back to Wet Hot American Summer. Orange Cassidy's character is based on Paul Rudd's character in Wet Hot
American Summer. Yeah. So, and then this guy's profile pic is Paul Rudd and all of these things. And this was the main guy who like triggered it all and was really, I guess, quote unquote, harassing LoPiccolo. Again, I'm just being delicate with my words, but this is all fake anyways. This is a cartoon simulation. We are bots, JJ. Minecraft. So Minecraft. So, but he's like, no, that's Nick's game because he's trying to pinpoint where I got it from. This isn't my first rodeo. Nick knows I'm not lying, though. Otherwise, he would call me a liar, and he hasn't. Now, the reason I'm breezing through this part is because I've covered this on a PWT live show, but just to sort of reiterate, this Ron guy, I guess, got insight like a week or so prior that Nick LoPiccolo was going to be released or was at least got a talking to or was leaving on his own, whatever it was, on his own accord, paradigm. Okay, so he knew that Nick had gotten a talking to, which Nick proved himself. So here's one thing. Nick, I'm going to criticize him in one aspect here. First off, you don't even need to get into the weeds with these sickos. Just block or fucking mute them. Second off, he was sort of denying a lot of shit, but then it was sort of confirmed himself through him posting like leaked DMs and stuff. Like I think he was sort of saying like, I didn't get a talking to, or how would you know, or whatever the fuck. But then he revealed himself later, which we're going to get to, screen grabs of people saying like, hey, Tony Khan and whatever told us to talk or tried to get us to. So Nick kind of revealed, and this Ron guy might have known some shit, but he completely deleted his stuff entirely. I looked up the account not too long ago and before this pod, and this Ron account was back, but the account was just strictly hating on Tony Khan and AEW, like ferociously hating on AEW. So either the Ron guy reactivated, either he reactivated to throw people off his scent, or he and then made his whole account like a hate account on AEW just to fucking, which is what a sicko would do. Let's really think about it. Or some hilarious troll, because it's kind of funny if someone fucking like got the handle somehow, but I don't think you can do that, right? So no, you can't. It would be funny if, so like it would be funny if someone did that as a troll, like stole Tone's old burner to hate on him, but I don't think it's that. That's me again giving the benefit of the doubt, probably, but it's. And not to be overly conspiratorial, but let's be honest here. Like, people operate kooky on the fucking internet. This Ron guy probably reactivated, deleted all of his tweets, and then just became an AEW hate account to try and throw off the Twitter investigation, whatever the fuck, if it comes down to that, right? Yeah. So that's when Nick LoPiccolo tagged the shit. Everybody disappeared, though, and then Nick LoPiccolo says, this post that needs discussion today. So we're just going to go through this Phil Marks bookmarks folder of like a bunch of shit. Some of it might be out of order, but we're going to react to all this stuff and sort of Jacques Clouseau puzzle piece this shit together and give some thoughts on this. And so Nick LoPiccolo, this guy said, the Royal Pain says, don't know how deep you're looking into the replies and all, but just happen to scroll this one. Not many original posts, but goes back to 2009 tweeting to the void. Mentions Illinois, personal names, etc. Stops in 2016, then becomes an AEW fan account, basically.
Yep.
So happy birthday, Tony. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. And then Nick LoPiccolo writes this huge, long thread. Yeah. Or not even a thread, part of me, just a post, but he goes, quick tutorial since it's easier to explain than go back and forth. This isn't random behavior. This is a general pattern of a sleeper account waking up. You can literally see the transition happen in real time. That's the tell. Based only on what's visible in the screenshot I'm QTing, here are the elements that matter. Account created in 2009. ancient by X standards, huge trust advantage. Years of basically tweeting into the void, low engagement activity, sudden pivot into hyper-specific fandom content, immediate jump from passive posting to active reply guy behavior. The pattern is what people clock. Old account, long quiet period, abrupt niche fandom activation, classics equals classic sleeper mechanics. What you're looking at in the screenshot is how these accounts typically come online. They're digital assets aged on purpose. Now, this is where I'm like, whoa, are you sure it's not just like a Tone's a billionaire and these companies, what they do is they buy like emails and old accounts and information and shit, to sell data and for data. So
data brokers. Yeah.
Yeah. So like when he says it was on purpose to bypass the moderation systems and influence conversation, I don't think in 2009, and I'm not saying this is what Nick is implying, but this is how it comes across. In 2009, Tone made a bunch of sleeper Twitter accounts so that 20 years later, almost, he'd fucking be able to awake them and harass people. Well, I just don't know about all that.
Because in 2009 was when his message board faction was thinking that they were the greatest thing in the world.
That's crazy, man. In Influence Op, an 09 account is gold, not metaphorically, literally. Farms don't only spin up new profiles because X flags newborn accounts almost immediately. Right. Instead, they acquire old ones. Yeah, which is true. Usually 3 ways. First, abandoned accounts. Millions of people stopped using Twitter years ago but never deleted their profiles. Hacker run credential stuffing using passwords from old data breaches and quietly take them over. Second, bulk marketplaces, gray market, forums sell aged accounts and bundles. A 15-year-old account with no followers goes for $20 to $50. So we know this. He's not, and the reason he has insight on this, and again, this is just confirming what I've been saying for years on PWT podcast and live show and all
just
the shows.
Just in from Phil Marks of PWT. But he says, I told you so.
This is happening in the entertainment industry on a large scale. This isn't like Tony, some crazy internet. Like, yes, there's that aspect of it, but it's also, this is what big billion-dollar, million-dollar corporations, nobody stands She-Hulk as much as some of these accounts. They just don't. Disney activates quote-unquote sleeper account or whatever. I'm not saying they run harassment campaigns.
That scene in Superman is so fucking relevant because it was a fucking play on all of this always happening.
Right. Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. And like, yes, does it turn into harassment? Yeah, why? Because that type of crazy ass shit gets the engagement, and it's people trying to instill fear in other people and things like this to control their online activity and to control narratives. And that's why I know some people try to go like, because what did you explain? You can look at the about and see what country people are from and stuff like that. And some people point out like, here's an account from fucking India. And then some people will say, well, that's kind of racist. But it's like, it's not though, man. It's what they're doing. Like, and it's not just them. Like I even point out all the time. It's like these artists these days with Spotify. The studios have rooms filled with tablets and computers, and they're just streaming an artist over and over again. It's across the board. It's just dead internet theory all over. Bots, fucking dead. So I'm not going to read all of this shit.
Right. But it's the same way that with freaking derivatives in the stock market, and how there's rooms just full of computers like trading at hyperspeed back and forth to try to pump and dump stocks all the time. People don't realize it. One of the other reasons that this got caught attention is at the same time that Nick had this figured out was there. I'll keep this very brief, but it was discovered in the political realm here in America. And there were people posting pro MAGA stuff that were from Nigeria and Bangladesh. And they're like, you're not.
I see it on Twitter all the time.
Right.
I see it on Twitter all the time. Yeah, dude.
Right.
So, and it does matter because, they don't like when you're, what's the word? Disseminating. Is that even the right word? Like when you're getting involved and basically causing chaos in American politics. You're not even from America. You're just a dude getting a cut of the blue check money in a room with 100 fucking guys.
5 cents on the dollar to do some shit. Yeah.
And we know that that's a real thing. Like there's people in India, in Russia, they found all this shit who are essentially beyond the trolls too. Like there's people who just troll.
And they can get people to do this shit. It's just the same with Americans and signing up for all the freaking apps where you play games and get money. And they're like, eventually you get a $25 gift card. That's how it is in the rest of the world too. They're getting paid to be bots.
and like in things that are topical and that everybody's talking about,
Right.
to create outrage so that it gets more clicks and retweets and
Exactly.
all of these sorts of fucking things. So it's not like this is some outrageous racist thing to say or anything. It's just what's happening.
No.
And also, for instance, there was a guy who was just busted on Facebook. I don't know if he is busted, but he lived in Australia. He was a white dude in Australia pretending to be a black person, ran like the biggest BLM. I think it was BLM Facebook groups, got a bunch of money out of people, and then just dipped out. Like, this is what's happening.
Like,
people, and he was just trolling. He was just trolling and scheming. That's not even like these factories. There's literal like factories of tablets fucking.
The dude that was the head of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, who's like he was a Hispanic guy running the Proud Boys, but he ran the Proud Boys website and he also ran an anti-Proud Boys merch website at the same time.
Oh my god, dude, we live in a fucking South Park episode of The Matrix. Like, it's so fucking
wrestling's not fake.
This is what I mean. Like, nothing's real, bro. Nothing's real anymore, dude. So anyways, LoPiccolo goes, so we beat that to death, but it really needs to be driven home. Like, this isn't just wrestling or Tony Khan specific. This is like happening everywhere constantly.
Right.
So LoPiccolo says this pro Tony Khan account that posts things that only Tony Khan would know, followed BJ Bethel and other Tony co-conspirators, followed TK bot armies, is Muslim, anti-trans, anti-Jade Cargill, anti all of the same people as TK, immediately mass deleted his post and locked his account down after I tagged NFL Commission on Sunday night. That must have hit too close to home because obvious burner, Ron, whatever, reported my ex account to get it suspended less than 15 minutes later after I tagged the NFL, and I connected the dots from there. But this guy is inside knowledge if I got fired from Paradigm 12 days ago. So here's the thing. By Nick posting this, he's almost surely... He's like, how would this guy know? And he sort of denied what this Ron guy was saying, but it sort of proves Ron right, though. Because what Ron did have info on this shit, clearly. No? Am I wrong on that? Like, it clearly, well, then he knew if you did leave and this guy was saying you were going to leave Paradigm before and you got a talking to, then Nick later shows screen grabs that Tony was calling people, okay? Yep. And trying to get people to call Nick. And then Nick actually crosses a line and fucking Doxxed Tone, which we're going to get into. But
it's because, you know something, Nick is playing the long game and he is sly as a fox, and there's a reason he's putting it out there and laying the bait. He wants Tony Khan to barrel up to the bar and try to sue him for defamation. He knows that Tony won't, because the moment a civil suit comes forward, everything goes into discovery and Tony has to do a deposition, and that's when everything comes out on the table.
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy.
He knows what he's doing.
But when Nick LoPiccolo says an anti-Zionist burner obsessed with pro wrestling and AEW with close connections to Hollywood, sorry, Tony, the VPN won't save you. So let me just ask you something right here. When he goes, Tony co-conspirators follow TK bot armies, and this is the biggest indictment, and I'll tell you why. Like what he's first saying, okay, they follow all those typical TK bots, BJ Bethel and all this. And also, we've seen Tone tell like what's his name, BJ Bethel or David Bixenspan, who's like such a sicko. We've seen him publicly tweeting, hey, Bix, unblock that account, what's his name? Do or so to do or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
something like that, right? That account. And everybody pointed out how that guy was on the message boards, Dave Meltzer's message boards too, from back in the day. Tone knows that guy, and that guy was all pumped about the Boston bombings and the fucking Colorado school movie theater shootings and whatnot. He was pumped and stoked on that, to the point they banned him off the message boards, and the Observer message board guys were talking about, yo, this guy's unhinged and fucked up. And then Tony Khan is on X publicly like, yo, Bix, unblock this guy. He's one of the good ones. So that means Tone knows this sicko who's in there in the weeds arguing with people. Everyone's got him blocked. I think
because that's probably one of the guys that Tony could pay to fucking hoard out more bots.
But that's crazy. So like we know that Tone is like real into these uber sicko bot 3 follower fucking. I've accused Tone and maybe this is conspiratorial, but way before all this, I think that Tone was responding to like AEW burners. Like one time there were these accounts, there was like 2 people on Twitter who were like, man, switch Mina Shirakawa's music back. And then Tone was like, we're on it. And both of these accounts had like 20 followers, and he's responding to them. And then meanwhile, this guy who was supposed to come on my pod, he just disappeared. But he accused Tone publicly, no, they stole her music from me. And then his account went private and shit. He was DMing me. He was going to come on this pod. I'm saying it now because he's just disappeared.
It's been a while.
Like dude, it's been a long time. And he was like, I'm going to come on. Then he's like, dude, I can't come on. I can't really talk about this. I'd love to come on. But like, it was weird. And then eventually we just deaded communication, and then he's just been gone. And so now I'll talk about it. But your boy Phil was keeping that one under wraps for a while. Cause I was like, I might get a little exclusive here. Yeah. And you remember that. So Tone, like, I was like, that's weird. I think Tone, I think this is like a fabricated thing. So Tone publicly will save face about having to switch her music back after using some fucking stolen music, quote unquote, for one night only. Right. So, anyways, though, that seemed very bottish. So I'm with Nick there, but when he goes into is Tony Khan Muslim?
Yeah.
Is Tony Khan Muslim?
Yeah, his family's from Pakistan, dude.
Tony Khan is of Pakistan American descent, with his father Shad Khan identifying as a cultural Muslim.
Yeah.
Wow. So I didn't even actually know that, but I do know that they like Trump and shit, like 100%.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, because that's why
families donated to him.
The woman who used to be the head of talent relations, Megha, she was from Shad's like old like companies and stuff.
Right.
Shad
We're gonna get into her in a bit too. I got some Megha stuff in a bit here as well. So anti-trans. So if you're Muslim, you're likely like you're anti. Is that ignorant of me to say or insinuate you're anti-trans?
It depends. It depends. Some people will say it goes with your cultural and your spiritual beliefs. Some people won't. It all depends.
Okay.
Like, because especially because there's so many different sects of Muslims and Jewish faith, and just like there's different sects of Christianity. Like,
right.
You can't really label as their spiritual path is what makes them do this, but it may just be the influence. Like, I've met evangelicals that are super anti-trans, and that's their whole gimmick. But I've also met evangelicals that don't really talk about it. So you can't really say it's the religion that does it.
Right, and that's where I'm sort of lost on. That's where the anti-trans. I'm like, okay, now you're losing me a bit. I mean, I don't know.
But the thing is, I could see Tony doing it because.
Well, here's the thing. But didn't Punk go out there with like the Trans Lives Matter shit, and everyone was like, and like Hangman and shit. Yeah, so I don't know. Whatever. I'm not. It doesn't. Hey, if you're anti that or you're pro that, I don't give a fuck. That's none of my business. I'm just.
Here's the reason, Phil. Here's the reason, Phil. It's because Punk was going to do whatever the fuck he wanted in AEW. We learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Fucking Paige can come do it because Paige is boys with the EVPs. So he gets a pass. Just like, and I'm not going to get into anyone's beliefs here because I don't know who believes in what and who chooses to believe in what, yada, yada. But I myself, what do you call it? I'm a fan of Nyla Rose. Nyla's from this area. They're from New York. People thought it was this big thing when Nyla got the title put on them, and everyone's like, blah, 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 blah. That was a call by the EVPs to try to make the company stand out, and Tony was never behind it in the first place. And the thing is, Nyla is a great worker, and I hate when people start saying awful stuff about people. So you can believe what you want about the person, but you can't deny that they're a hell of a worker in the ring. And that's what really matters when it's putting belts on people. I'll leave that out to the barn.
Yeah, fair enough. Anti Jade Cargill. So yeah, Tony is that.
Obviously shit. Now, yeah, because
anti all
where it's going to be when she was going to become the star.
Right, and he thought he was going to keep her, and he didn't.
Yeah.
Anti all of the same people as TK, immediately mass deleted his post. So yeah, we read all that. And then he says an anti-Zionist burner.
That's
so what is that? Okay. But like, are all So all
Zionist
Jews Zionists? I sound so fucking ignorant, but like I'm not.
Zionist,
I don't care.
Zionist is Israel belongs to Israel. It's that level of Judaism where it's like the Zionists are the ones that don't want Palestine to have their own piece of the. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
People will say Brian Last is his family is Zionist.
Okay, I'm just very like apolitical and like mind my own business and shit when it comes to people's religious beliefs. It's not really. Right. I've never felt the need to preach my shit at people or like fucking like have it preached to me or whatever. So pardon my ignorance and all that. That's why JJ's money and he's here. He gets it. So, anyways, he's arguing like Jesus is fiction alone proves you don't know. So this guy's arguing there's literally. This guy's like, there's literally no archaeological evidence for Jesus existing and shit. So Nick dug in the weeds of this guy. So here's awful wrestling breaking news. Talent agent Nick LoPiccolo exposes Tony Khan's secret burner account story developing. Ron jumps right under there. Obviously, this is a burner, but it's pretty flattering to think I'm someone that high up or even in AEW or wrestling at all. But I'm close enough to people Nick knows to be confident enough to say what I've said. I noticed how your replies to me are very carefully worded. This was to Nick. You've never outright denied anything I've said. You say things like, okay, bet, and post it, and you know exactly why. Why don't you tell the class what Paradigm told you 10 days ago about your erratic behavior, Nick? Goddamn. No, that's Nick's game because he's trying to pinpoint where I got it from. This isn't my first rodeo. Nick knows I'm not lying, though. Otherwise, he would call me a liar, and he hasn't. So I don't know, dude. Like, that's clearly someone close to the situation, and who gives a fuck? There's nobody who works. Again, we pointed out earlier, like, agents backed Nick up publicly. Some of them, they just didn't get this type of heat. So who would give a fuck this much? And I'm not calling dude a liar either. I'm just playing the liar drop because he said liar. But moving along here. So this is the Ron account. Now this account is deleting tweets. Please, everyone, screen grab everything this account has ever posted and screen grab it now. And it's like, damn, dude, I think it's incriminating enough. Not incriminating, but I think the dude's damned enough. And then he's like, Nick's like, I didn't admit anything, but you'll be hearing from my litigators. And Ron was telling him, like, you haven't connected any dots, but you did finally admit you got fired. Good job. And I am who I say I am is what Nick says there. So this guy says at least Nick is consistent, right? Consistently crashing out, consistently not helping female clients. We should command such consistency. And this was in response to people jumping on him because ex-WWE star Kayla Braxton shuts down claims that she's begging for an AEW job. And people said that she was begging for an AEW job. And I will point out that she was featured on an AEW, like, what is it, Johnny Loves Taya or whatever the fuck, one of those shows they do for their YouTube. She was just featured on that show. And not that that's like, oh, you work for AEW. And I honestly don't think she said this shit to try and get a job out of AEW. But what happened was, and Jon Alba got in the mix here. And Jon Alba's clearly been co-opted by AEW. Like, it's obvious. But what had happened here, and thank you, Ringside News, for posting this story. Yeah, for once. They're like the TMZ, the outrage, rage bait shit, but like they at least just they credit the fucking stories that they're lifting from, unlike Dave Meltzer, and then they fucking like directly clip you and quote everything. It's a simple man's way of doing things. But Kayla Becker had this to say. So Nick LoPiccolo has blocked you. This guy who has me blocked, oddly enough, called Common Sense, and then S37, like a million things, says, heard this guy's claim to fame as being the agent to the actor who is the main character in Crazy Rich Asians. These some Crazy Rich Asians, and lost him to CAA. So Common Sense, dude, that shit happens all the fucking time. Like when people go, oh, and
CAA
he lost
is one of the biggest agencies in Hollywood. Like,
bro, Sydney Sweeney just left Paradigm. Like, you got to understand something, guys.
Right.
in Hollywood, y'all don't understand. This ain't Entourage, bitch. Or it is Entourage, but like you guys aren't living it. That's just like normal everyday things that occur. Right. It's not that big of a deal. But it could be a story. It could be like a supervillain backstory for LoPiccolo that made him go, fuck it. Like I'm just going balls to the wall, like losing a major client. Yeah, that's a dagger to the heart and shit. But like, anyways, this guy's claim to fame was being the agent to the actor who was the main character in Crazy Rich Asians and lost him to CAA. Is that who's in Crazy Rich Asians? That's not Simu Liu, is it? I don't want to.
No, it wasn't Simu Liu, but I don't remember.
He ruled in fucking Shang-Chi, but I was just wondering if he also starred in that. I've never seen the film, so I just assumed it was him or Bobby Lee. Not a lot of Asian actors, I guess.
Ronnie Chang,
yeah, exactly.
But anyways, the whole thing is Paradigm is geared more towards sports personalities,
right?
And actors. I mean, they still obviously represent them, but Paradigm was designed more for sports and sports personalities people, which is why, like, okay, so maybe there was one of the actors from Crazy Rich Asians that left them for creative artists. That's completely fine. But Nick had a proven record at Paradigm. He was there for 17 years. He was basically at the top of the food chain there. So it was basically like Tony trying to punch up, thinking that he wasn't because he was born into money. And that's the problem.
Well, he says that then he started his career as a wrestling MMA agent because he couldn't make it in Hollywood. Here's the problem, man. WWE wrestlers are Hollywood now, man. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, dude. He helped kick down barriers that Vince spent so much time like building up.
Right.
And you gotta and then MMA agent, who the fuck? Oh, yeah. He represented Jorge Masvidal and some other folks, or represents them currently. Agent because he couldn't make it in Hollywood. Now he convinces wrestlers they can, LOL. But they are, buddy. So now you're like, whatever, say what you will about all the other stuff, but now you're like shitting on some of the wrestlers. Like, come on, man. Right. Roman and Punk aren't crushing it right now. Zootopia. Right. Zootopia 2 was like the biggest fucking kids movie. It did gangbusters,
last year.
Man. Yeah. And like Street Fighter, I don't care what people say of the trailer. It's going to do fucking box office. And it's just crazy to be saying some shit like that. But Kayla Becker chimed in and said, he signed me while I was at WWE. I helped him sign several WWE talent by making introductions. He promised to help me out for helping him. I depended on him after I left WWE. He ghosted me. Haven't heard him since. So if that says anything about the kind of guy he is. And Jon Alba says, this is the absolute least shocking thing, and I'm sorry you dealt with that.
But then Nick disproved it.
Right. Well, I'm assuming he debunked it, and he goes, how to light your journalism degree on fire in one post. And then Alba just gives a thumbs up. But the problem is that Alba's been fucking co-opted. You know what I'm saying? Like, Alba's been co-opted. I can't stand fucking his pompous bullshit, and he 100% is in the bag with Tony Khan. And it's obvious to see why. You look at the interviews, is it a coincidence that the Wrestling Observer, Sports Illustrated, and the self-made Wrestle Purist Awards and all this shit all have the exact same, they voted the exact same in every fucking category.
Right. For
Wrestler of the Year, Promotion of the Year, all this shit, and self-made gets the MJF interview recent today or whatever, because he's fucking friends with Elbu, man. Yeah, John, and he's co-opted them. Fucking Elbu leaked all that shit about Britt Baker. Well, who reportedly has heat with fucking Britt Baker? Why would he know all this shit? Why would he be saying all this shit on his fucking paid Discord? Because he fucking MJF does run-ins on Elbu shit. So then you have fucking Jon Alba, who
I can interject one moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jon Alba drew his line in the sand a little over a year ago. You could tell that he was already getting at least a back end stipend from Tony Khan when Eric Bischoff ended his relationship with Alba, because they used to have that show. They used to have the show Strictly Business. And what would happen was Bischoff would start talking about wrestling, and he would start talking about things that Tony was doing wrong. And throwing a tantrum. And then one day, all of a sudden, no strictly business. And Eric was just like, I wish Alba whatever he wants to do. But that's when all of a sudden you saw Alba popping up doing all these other things with AEW because he chose his side of the fence to sit on. And it's been so freaking like when you want to talk about the freaking S tier level of Tony Khan glazing, Alba is like trying to beat down the door and knock Dave out of that top position. It's insane.
Right. No, you're right, dude. And it's because he gets access. Like he got the interview with Tony Khan. We know Tony like calls Dave on the phone. So this is like, we can see how they're co-opted. They get the access and they might be getting paid. I'm not sure, but they get access to say the least, and they're marks for just that. And they think that that's journalistic integrity and that they're going to break down the walls and people are going to care about a Tony Khan interview unless he's fucking trashing WWE or something like that. And then also Sports Illustrated got co-opted because again, the ESPN has the WWE awards, like most shocking moment in wrestling. And it's all just WWE. And Tone was now at the Sports Illustrated Awards, and they, the Sports Illustrated, they're trying to rebuild their brand after all the shit they've taken. And again, they have like all their
shit's AI generated now, which is why no one takes them seriously anymore.
Yeah, and their award show. Well, I don't know. I think they got caught using AI, but then after, I think John Alba claims like after he took over the mantle and all this stuff, he can claim it all he wants. You can still tell it's written. Yeah, like apparently they've revamped themselves. I don't fucking know, but it isn't what it used to be. Sports Illustrated used to be the bomb diggity. Now it's just garbage, and no one takes it seriously. And their award shows, they're trying to resurrect it and make it serious again. And so they just co-opted AEW because Tone has ties with however the fuck it works. But you're absolutely right about John Alba.
And if I may interject again about those awards and what they voted on. Alfred Konuwa did a really good video exposing that when they came out, because Alba listed the whatever 10, 11 people decided to vote on what won in all those categories, and every single one of them have the Tony Khan scrum pass. And he posted clips of all of them doing questions at various scrums over the last 2.5 years.
Let's talk about it.
Crazy. So John Alba. So then Nick LoPiccolo just does a winking gif, and then John Alba's, he can't ever help. Like he always, I don't know, whatever. He's a dickhead. Yeah. But Alba goes, it's a story I hear about agents all the time. It's happened to me before as well. If she's wrong, feel free to correct it. And it's like, well, that's what he's doing by telling you that you're a dumbass. But then he sort of like is chill with Alba when all's said and done. And you notice this with Nick LoPiccolo, where, again, it's going to get deep and dark and twisted here as we move along these bookmarks, but like someone starts showing up at his house or someone's house, and then he ends up signing the guy and becoming bros with the guy. It's actually quite weird, but we're going to get into it all. Nick goes, no, I don't need to clean it up. It's a story I hear about agents all the time. The fuck kind of sourcing is that? You said you weren't a grifter. Act like a journalist and verify. And then Alba says, well, to be a grifter, I'd have to be able to make money talking about you. So not sure that would be the case. I've worked with agents my entire adult life. It's happened to me before. Hence, I said it wasn't surprising. As simple as that. And Alba. So everyone you and Dave called grifters aren't fucking grifting. And Dave is grifting then, because he is making money.
Right.
Talking about all this shit. So funny you just did that. But this guy's like, at least Nick is consistently crashing out. And then Nick says, who said she was a client? Right? Talking about Kayla Becker.
Right.
He's like, she wasn't even a client. And so I think there's another response where how did he rectify it? Like, was that it? Or he said he reached out privately, or he's like, I didn't go.
He basically showed like his call logs or whatever, and that like he tried reaching out to her and she ghosted him. So he was like, well, I'm done then.
Damn, that's crazy. So I'm not sure if I have that bookmark, but Nick LoPiccolo responds to John Alba again and goes, no, John, the least shocking thing ever is you giving 10 awards out for clout. And then this guy goes, bro, just shut the fuck up. You've blown up your entire career due to being an enormous dork. Just accept
and then Nick
it.
did the thing that I've been doing. See, if you look right there, account based in, and then it. See?
Australia, and then last one username change. So is this a pwn? Like, how would this be a pwn on this guy?
So it shows that the guy's
explain, or-
based in Australia. So it shows that like whoever's deciding to talk, obviously like you would have to click on the profile itself to see how many followers it had and when it but it says date joined 2009, so it's a dead account. Australia, and then that little icon over to the right, the little eye with the circle on it, that, or if a shield appears, means the person is hiding behind a VPN.
And then look, one username change in 2016, which is what Nick was pointing out to. It's almost like to a T.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing it now. I'm awake to the Matrix now. This is crazy. Yeah, he got lost in
Take
the
that black pill.
Yeah, dude, for real. It is just such a black pill. So we move along here, and again, this is all over the place, guys, so bear with me. But Nick says, I don't need a written apology. I want the targeted harassment to stop. I've tried behind the scenes. I've asked intermediaries to try behind the scenes who I have good relationships with. I won't name them here. I've reached out to Dave Meltzer through a friendly intermediary and offered peace. They don't want peace. So Nick even reached out to Meltzer and them. Now, I don't know if Meltzer and them are sicko enough. I don't think he's sicko enough to sick hounds and shit. I honestly just think Dave is...
but he'll wind a Tony who will do it.
Right, exactly. Oh, yeah, and then Kayla Braxton, though, shot down some theories. So notice that old Kayla Braxton doesn't mention Vince and Kevin Dunn ghosting her or the WWE dumping her, but she clearly saw this as an opportunity to ingratiate herself in AEW. I'm sure she's constantly begging for a job. And then Kayla's like, interesting theory, Jersey Joe. Incorrect, but creative. I left WWE by choice after 8 years on good terms. No ghosting, no bad blood. Yeah, I think it's a bit conspiratorial to think that she's just trying to get a job with AEW. I think she could have had one if she wanted. Like, Tone was scooping everyone up.
But didn't it, when she left WWE, didn't like a 3-year no compete thrown on or some shit when it came to wrestling?
Maybe, but like, what is... So then he didn't hire her now? Like, I just think Tone's willing to fucking... If you were in the Fed duty, I'd Rita Chatterton on salary. Like,
I know.
Like, bro, he's paying her every year. Like, unless she's just crazy and made that up, but no one refuted it. So it's like, if you're doing that, then yeah, he'll hire Kayla Braxton. Like, that's not a, even look at the way Samantha Irvin talks about, like, when I'm wrestling, when I'm with Ricochet, like, it's already a foregone.
Oh, that's sorry. I mixed up Kayla and Samantha. My bad.
There you go. Yeah. So Ricochet's wife is like,
yeah,
is like, I'm gonna be. Oh yeah, I think she had a no compete. Yeah, like a 3-year or something like that. Or
yeah,
something
she does. That was my mistake. My retraction.
So this is like, I'm just nice to them and everyone. Exactly. LOL. That's my point. The message was sent to Meltzer. Thank you. So this guy relayed a message to Meltzer. Whatever. I think I know who this is, but I'm not gonna fucking. So Nick says, thank you. You can pass along my number if he wants it and apologize to Meltzer from me. I made him a target because I was trying to take the heat off Tony directly. It isn't Dave's fault. Oh, no. And I will tweet that too, but that would hurt Tony, which hurts Dave. I would find a way to make it less incendiary. But the reason Dave became such a focal point was because I was trying to abide by what Shad and Megha asked me to do. Leave Tony's name out of it. And Megha, we are sorry, literally. Now, Megha apparently views Tone. This is the rumors and innuendo that's out there, okay? Mm-hmm. That she views Tone as like a fucking nuisance. Like, there's resentment there after the heat she took from the AEW stuff. And,
Megha is basically, I was your father's assistant. I hate the fact that I have to work for you.
Yeah.
That's Megha.
And she might have taken heat. There's rumors out there that people with bigger shows than I have fucking insinuated, like, she might have been into some of the boys and all that. And it's like, well, it's her goddamn prerogative. I don't know if that affected anything, her dating some of the boys. I don't think she's there like I'm going to take these guys. It was just, I think her cleaning up a lot of Tony's messes and shit like that, honestly, if we're being perfectly honest. But literally, you can give him this too if you want. And then he says, we'll also pass that along. So he's apologizing to fucking Dave Meltzer and like, I didn't mean to make him a target and all of that. And I just don't know if you really had to fucking do that. I got to be perfectly honest. Like fucking Dave deserves no mercy. Diggity dog. You know, when it comes to
how young Megha was.
Yeah, when it comes to how old is she? We're ageist here at PWT, so
she does. I'm not sure, but I realized I never saw a picture of her, so I just like Googled her, and she looks pretty damn young.
Oh, I thought you looked up like her actual factual age there, but either it doesn't even matter. It's neither here nor there. But yeah, him apologizing to Dave and shit, and really reaching out, like let him know I'm sorry and da 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 da. What does that do? Like Dave just ignored him and would talk shit about him and spurg out and cope over the things Nick was saying. Like Nick would write a very intelligent thread on like the way things are going, and then Dave would like regurgitate it but not give Nick credit, or like try and explain away shit Nick would say. Do you know what I'm saying? Like what do you make of him apologizing to Dave? Like what does that do? It's not like it gets any of the sickos off your back.
I think that was like a caveat that was like, you need to do this first because it hurts Tony's feelings. And so he figured, oh, okay, I'll just do this and everything will go away.
But if Nick's in the power play, if Nick's the one on the power play and he's the one in control of all of this, like he pointed out for so long, then then why is he meeting their demands? We don't negotiate with terrorists. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is this?
I get that. I get that, but you need to look at it from a big picture business standpoint. Nick is a higher up in a very prominent company. You have, and this is I'm going to completely down to brass tacks and lay it out for you. You have a spoiled fucking brat of a billionaire who is throwing tantrums and sicking other agents on your agency on a constant basis. Why? Because he's a thin-skinned little child. And you know, so and do you really want to sit there and go, listen, I got shit to do. I have all of these clients that I have to maintain. The last thing I need is getting by this man child. Give the baby his bottle. Here, now shut up and go the fuck away. Grown folk are talking. That's exactly where Nick was coming from.
Yeah. So I understand that. I get that, but I just don't get what trying to reach out to Dave.
You have to give the baby his bottle because daddy billionaire, and daddy billionaire will make your life hell.
Right. No, I get that. But Dave's just such like a narcissistic old fool. I just don't think he would be receptive to that sort of thing whatsoever. You know, so I just don't know if this is a W, but he says, I don't want to be a part of the AW narrative and I want the league to exist. Here's the thing I want to tell you guys about Nick LoPiccolo this whole time. And one day when I get the okay, I'm actually going to tell a fucking story about just really the whole, he does not hate AEW, never has, never tried to poach talent from one place and take him to another, never had to fucking,
never a factor to him.
Dude, it's sort of he wanted to, and it might seem like an aggressive way to do things, but I mean, look at how people reacted to what he did. It was ultra aggressive as well, but it's sort of like he wanted to put Tony on his back foot and do like a harsh, it's like when Gordon Ramsay walks into a fucking restaurant and he's there filming his TV show and he's like, I have 5 days to turn this restaurant around, and then everyone's like, why is he yelling at everyone and such a dickhead? Well, because you have family dynamics, 30 years of relationships between people that he needs to cut through, make them realize how fucking dumb they are for having food rotting on the ground and fucking all of these sorts of things. He just needs to cut through the bullshit. It's like a splash of cold water in the face. Wake the fuck up and fix this right now. Okay? That is why he approaches it, or John Taffer approaches Bar Rescue the way he fucking does. Okay? And so Nick LoPiccolo sort of tried to do that. He tried to put Tone on his back foot to make him treat things more intelligibly and smarter and look at the long term, and maybe even bring in, I said it a million times, I'd fucking hire Nick LoPiccolo instead of hiring people to go after him allegedly. If that's what happened, I would fucking get this guy on my team and be like, dude, plug away and fucking show us what's, let's have a meeting, let's come together. and fucking see how we can make things better. Does that make sense? You know, it's like Werner von Braun, right? In World War II, he was an evil fucking Nazi. The Americans went, we're taking this guy. You're going to build our fucking rockets now or whatever the fuck. You know, like if you want to put it, I'm not calling him a Nazi, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to say an evil genius, like let's say you look at him as the bad guy, well, why don't you fucking buy him and pick his brain, you know, keep your enemy closer type thing. Yeah, that would have been way smarter. Like clearly Nick's ahead of the curve on a lot of things. So, but he says, I will keep escalating and shining more light on stuff that is a distraction both for them and me. If Tony doesn't understand, it's time to call for peace. I'm a businessman. I'm also a family man. This has caused a lot of financial harm to me and my family. I don't want to be at war, but you know me, I'm comfortable in it. It's just counterproductive for everyone. Right. And then he says, I'll make sure the message is conveyed, brother. And then is there an answer from Dave? I didn't hear back. Rome is burning. I see that. So again, just no nothing. And this guy's like, bingo, make them write you a big fat check and demand a handwritten apology that is signed and dated. Do not accept any NDAs. Tony is well known for making people sign.
True story.
And I guess, yeah, he big time, man, like big time.
That's kind of why Megha resents him so much, because she handles all shit for the Jaguars. She got thrown into this, and basically she's the one that has to keep writing up NDAs for every time someone fucks up in the locker room.
Yeah. And so we'll see if it all goes to court and whatnot. But then it kind of chilled out and everyone stopped talking about shit. But we got a lot more in here. So Nick says if they had clean hands in a strong case, you'd already see the docket. Notice how TK isn't calling lawyers, plus AEW isn't filing anything. Nuclear leverage changes behavior. Funny how fast legal courage disappears. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then this Nick, oh, go ahead.
I don't know if you're going to touch on it, but Nick was kind of prophetic in something he started saying, and then something like a domino that fell about 2.5 weeks later.
Okay, so let's see.
Go ahead. I don't know if you have anything. I don't know if you have anything bookmarked when he just started posting Kendrick Lamar videos over and over.
Yeah, I'm sure they're in here. But what was the prophecy that unfolded?
He basically alluded to. He started with posting live performances of Kendrick Lamar doing "Not Like Us," which we all know is a song about Drake being a Adobe Acrobat PDF file.
Yeah.
And anyone that would mention Tony Khan to him, he would just quote tweet them and write "Mustard" and post another Kendrick Lamar video. And the Mustard is DJ Mustard, Kendrick Lamar's DJ.
Right.
And he just kept playing "Not Like Us" over and over again. And then a couple of weeks later, Casey Wasserman gets named in the Epstein Files. And
right.
Nick
so
goes, guess what, motherfuckers?
Dude, yeah, it is crazy, dude. That is nuts. Yeah, so we're going to get into that. I do have some Casey Wasserman stuff bookmarked, but is that a coincidence? You don't think that's a coincidence, allegedly?
That is not a coincidence at all. That is...
Okay.
Here's from me. This has nothing to... This is not the words of Phil Marks nor PWT. This is the viewpoint of which has been for 6 years. I was saying this on the earliest episodes of White Heat. Certain things, I always get a bad gut feeling about certain people. Tony never passed the smell test with me, and I said one day he just might get his hard drive exposed, and that's all I'm saying about that. That's not proof. That is a feeling that I have. And damn, Nick posted "Mustard" a lot, really fucking hyped me up.
Man, so he says, rich of you to call out people for harassing you on Twitter after encouraging someone to self-harm earlier today. Shame on you, sir. And then Nick posts, okay, one of his followers on the account, about 1,800 following and 0 posts, dead giveaway, whatever the name is. What is the meaning? Yep. Usually burners buy bot accounts to make it seem like they're legit. It's just bots covering up for this crap. You know this. And this is someone telling this to Nick, by the way. You know this, but it's pretty obvious when you look at the actual accounts anyway. You can call out this is Tony's burner. He already engages directly with people on Twitter. He shared details based on his call in July, and he's doing it in a way that can't really go back to him unless you uncover his bot farm. Twitter backend is a mess. So this is like one of his experts, I guess. He was asked about, hey, what's this account? Is this connected or whatever the fuck? So this is when this stuff comes out here. Or let's scroll along here. So this guy goes, "Hey, JF McMullen, do you want your Pulitzer? This is your Donald Sterling moment." And this is actually what made the Ron and everybody disappear. Boom goes the dynamite. Nick LoPiccolo responding to someone here about the Epstein Files. We're going to circle back to that because I'm trying to get this all in because that's like a big bombshell. So someone's DMs Nick LoPiccolo and says, "So is he covering his ass now?" Here's BJ Bethel going, "I read on his timeline that some people have targeted his daughter in replies. If I see any behavior like this, I'll report you to Twitter and I'll call the cops. No one should have to go on Twitter, all of the ridiculous places, and have their kid threatened. Do better." And
Bethel
Nick
was in on
LoPiccolo
that shit. That was him trying to cover his own ass.
Yeah, man. It's like if somebody starts, it's like what you've seen with the Epstein Files shit, like people trying to cover their own asses and stuff. And, you know, if you're real serious about, if somebody says something like tries to incriminate you in some shit that you definitely are like, that's not me or whatever, you would just fucking state that, or you wouldn't have a comment on it, or you would just say like, "Man, this shit's getting dark and twisted. I want no part of it." But this is almost like a lawyer statement. I have nothing to do with this. I want nothing to do with this. I have no part of it. I don't know, man. But Bethel's definitely a Tony Khan stan. Oh, yeah. And all of these accounts are disappearing, and then he fucking tweets that out. It's weird. So Nick LoPiccolo moves along here, and Khan's bots are added again. So look at this. This is the account, buddy. Is this the same account? And look, man, NoDQ.com follows every fucking Uber sicko account. But look, Tony Khan's confirmed burner. The account's back. Khan's bots are added again.
I think that's a parody account. I think like the last number is different.
Oh, because that's what I was saying before. Like someone either took the old account, but yeah, someone took the Ron account, and either this account right here, Tony Khan's confirmed burner, all they do is roast Tony Khan. So I don't know if it's like someone being funny.
Yeah,
or
no, I think that's someone being funny, and one of the numbers is changed after the Ron.
Okay. Yeah. So I bid on it, but let's look here. Disrespectfully, get the fuck out of here. There's no amount of deflection or trying to act like you are not one that will ever gaslight me. And Nick LoPiccolo says, "I have information on other AEW backstage leaks that were given to the sheets, not the two obvious ones by Ron. Back down." So apparently AEW backstage stuff has been given to some of the dirt sheets. Nick for sure knows dirt sheet people. Sheets by Ron. Back down. So he's telling this account to back down. So look, I think so. JJ, is the 0 with a line through it different than just a normal 0 with no line through it? Like, is that a code or something? I don't know on Twitter.
That's someone who used character
That's
map.
how they did it. Yeah, because it's the exact that's numbers. That's
the Swedish letter. That's not the number.
Oh, fuck. So I don't know if Nick realizes this is a guy.
I think he does.
Okay, because he's quote tweeting and responding to it here, like back down and shit.
Yeah.
And this guy should be arrested already. Go for it. Yeah, I just don't know. But that guy being a troll is muddying the waters, but also kind of funny and ballsy to go, "I'm going to be a troll of this guy." That like,
yeah.
Just throwing yourself in the mix like that, buddy. That's kind of fucking, oh man, that's crazy. So anyways, this guy here. So then what happens is motherfuckers start wanting to show up at Nick LoPiccolo's place and all of this. So this guy Boss goes real Nick LoPiccolo. What have we learned now? Well, in the 80s, a man and 8 of his colleagues buddies gang raped a 17-year-old and paid her a $600,000 settlement. And guess who doesn't care and allows one of them to represent him now? You betcha. So who the fuck? So Nick LoPiccolo's like, "I'm done engaging here. I'm reporting this to law enforcement locally in California tomorrow and to the appropriate Texas district attorney's office when they reopen on Monday. Consider this notice. Stop harassing me, Mr. Forrest Mullins." And so this guy's saying like that, what, Nick was involved in this?
No, he's saying one of Nick's clients was some sports client that did some nefarious shit in college and they paid.
Whoa. Yeah, that's one of those, like, I think I know what he's taught, like one of those, or it's one of those high profile,
like how like they were
stories
trying to
of
nail
fucking-
that stuff on Gable Steveson that like
Right.
was
Okay.
disproven.
Oh, maybe I'm
Yeah.
conflating it with that, but okay. I get all right. Okay. I was like, is he accusing Nick? And that's fucking crazy, man. So
No, they're saying
moving
Nick reps
along-
him. Yeah.
right. So moving along here and more like BJ Bethel stuff, you know, he goes, never forget Ohio reply guy BJ Bethel averages 200 to 300 views with zero engagement, then magically drops a 134.1K banger in July, immediately after I called out Dave and won. That's sponsored relevance. Ohio math is wild.
Yep.
And this ties in to this because he goes, glad you asked. The individual repeatedly attempting to engage me here, Bosk, is a guy's now. I don't even gonna fucking say the guys. I don't know if it is him. Irving, Texas. I'm just reading what other people
Forrest
are
Gump,
putting out
Irving,
there.
Texas.
Yeah, if you're listening to this in audio form, this is fucking other people putting other people's shit out there, and I'm just reading it. If he was blocked weeks ago due to ongoing harassment. Since then, he has continued to circumvent that block to circulate false or misleading statements about me tied to AEW. Relevant context, he was also one of the only 9 accounts followed by Ron, along with BJ Bethel. So,
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. That you don't even have to be a conspiracy theorist. What's the odds of that? What are the odds of that, man? Come on. Like, the fuck are we doing here? That's not random. It's a closed loop, not organic engagement. The record reflects harassment, block, evasion, coordinated proximity. This is not disclosure. It's a traceable pattern involving a very small group of people. It seems very like Grok wrote this, kind of. I'm just going to be honest there with what Nick's writing there. But even if, well, for real, like a lot of people just ask Grok shit and then go, oh, this proves this. And, you know, Grok fucking strokes your egos, guys. Again, there's a South Park on that. Like, it will tell you what you want to hear and tell you, you know, it will try and keep you calm and things of this nature. You know what I mean? And if you're a radical person, it will radicalize you. And if you are going to it for therapeutic purposes or confirmation bias, it will oblige. You know, it will fucking give you what you're looking for. So, anyways,
I much prefer the Grok from Internet Comment Etiquette.
So he just
a little puppet of an Italian chef.
Yeah. So Nick, he just connects these dots here, okay? These sicko dots of, and it is terribly odd that BJ Bethel all of a sudden like just gets this huge engagement banger of a tweet out of nowhere, like someone blowing it up. An agent shouldn't be this stupid. But at the same time, it was a topical thing. Like Nick was blowing up, and maybe he did just get a banger. Every now and then people get a banger on their accounts, but at the same time, like, if all things other and else considered, I mean, hey, it might be more nefarious than it appears on a surface level. So this guy posts, Nick LoPiccolo gave Tony Khan the sweetest revenge. So Nick says he's a billionaire. He's not a victim. I think he's capable of changing a cell phone number. By the way, that post is only at 90K views. The troll farm he paid and ran on me July 13 has 303K views, where the fake arrest records were spammed under the photo of my 5-year-old girl. So again, someone posts Nick LoPiccolo's kid and this fake arrest record, and it gets 303K views. Like, you mean to tell me? But meanwhile, Tony Khan gets his number doxed and it gets less views. Like, that's crazy. That to me, clearly people are boosting posts with engagement, man. Like, that's a real thing that people do. Whitney Cummings got called out for doing it for a fucking YouTube channel and all this shit. Sorry, go ahead.
Let's also call a spade, because everyone wants to go off about him doxing his cell phone number. It was a business cell phone.
Sorry, buddy. Just not to interrupt, I'll let you go, but I'm not going to pull that tweet up on the screen, guys. I'm not even going to put Tony's number out there. But anyways, you're saying it's his business number.
It's his business cell phone. It's not his personal one. It's the one that he gives out when he wants people to talk to him about AEW. That's the cell phone that like the dirt sheet guys call in for the ROH pressers and shit.
Right, dude. It's still fucked up to give that out. But at the same time, when you feel backed into a corner, you want to drop a bomb. And it is a business number. It's not a home number. Right. But I still am on the fence with that. Like, I don't agree with doing that, because now you're gonna get fucking. This is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get
Beard's daughter is way worse.
I agree. But did Tone post a pic of his daughter? Like, was that Tone who did that? That's where it's like,
it was
we
the bot
can't.
farms that Tone hired.
True. But like, can we confirm he's hiring? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, none of that can actually quite be confirmed. You could still chalk it up to sycophants. You could still chalk it up to sycophants or people with a cult-like mentality who are just deranged and online too much. I think you could chalk it up to that still, as far as like legal action is concerned. No, like, do you know what I mean? How else do you fucking, like, we can't sit there and pinpoint Tone absolutely did this thing is the only problem with all of this, right? That's the only thing where Nick can't, you know, the leverage, him just dropping that business number doesn't really work in his favor because we can go, well, he did do that. Did Tone drop the pictures of his kids when also like Nick posts pictures of his kids and whatnot as well? So it's fucked up. I don't even like Google, oh, what does this person's wife look like or whatever. I have zero interest in that. And people posting their kids online, I think, is a problem, and especially what we've seen with the Epstein Files and shit, which we're gonna fucking get into a little bit. But Nick, like, you know, it's fucked up for sickos to go and grab pictures of his kids and post them. But he posted pictures of his kids, like they just gripped them from his own social medias and stuff. So I'm not sitting here like defending that at all. I would never fucking do that. I think leaking DMs is cringe and shit. I think that shit's all fucked up. But what I'm saying is like, you know, you can't exactly pinpoint that on Tony, like legally or in a fucking legally binding way. You can exactly. And that's, so I'm not discounting that it's a possibility. That's not a possibility. I'm not saying that, but to what you said, Nick hasn't done that yet. So I don't know, man. It's not, I'm not saying he's any worse or better, but it is still, I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Exactly. Like he definitely was throwing punches and didn't really give a fuck. Like, you know, he felt backed into a corner clearly.
He had already left Paradigm by that point.
Yeah, and I don't know if he regrets doing that or not. I don't know. Well, he said it. He's not a victim. He can change his number, which is true. And it does make it a little bit better that it's one of these numbers that, like, you know, Elboo's got that number. But unfortunately, what's going to happen is you're going to get crazy WWE fans. You're going to get crazy AEW fans calling it. And you're going to get crazy AEW fans pretending to be WWE fans saying insane sicko shit. You know, like you're gonna get all of that, and I feel bad for whoever operates that phone for Tone or whatever. But I think the most incriminating thing is just like the views here. It's like for sure you're boosting posts and shit. Like celebrities do that stuff all the time. You know, someone's boosting it. But this is the guy who was harassing Nick LoPiccolo again. This guy is like, you'll be seeing me share this one again in the morning, FYI. Let's make sure everyone can see this loud and clear. This is one of Nick's clients. This is like the lawsuit from back in the 80s or whatever. This guy goes, let it be known that I was the sole reason this motherfucker crashes out tonight while we're all snoozing. And this guy's account, man, I looked at it and but here's the problem, bro. He gets no traction and shit. Like you don't even need to be paying attention. If I'm Nick, like I'm just ignoring this fucking guy. Like why would you even, I would have not, like, just ignore this fucking guy and mute him or whatever, block him. Like it doesn't, you know, it's just such a, to just bring more attention to what this guy's even saying is crazy, because it doesn't even seem like you're hiding it. There's crazy there's crazy Twitter accounts out there that just talk to themselves and grok all day and think they're sleuthing out fucking info. It's literally psychotic, man. It's created this social media AI shit's created a fucking psychosis over the masses, dude. I truly believe that. And so this guy is he goes to a lot of wrestling conventions. He's a wrestling fan, but he fucking dislikes Nick, right? And I think this is the guy, like the Bosk guy or whatever, right? And so and the reason why I'm giving this Bosk guy so much attention is because I think Nick said that he turned around and signed him or something. I'm not even joking. So LoPiccolo said this about the Kayla Braxton thing. He goes, if that were my reputation ghosting, you guys wish I would shut my phones off or stop engaging on everything. That's like accusing AEW talent of having a bad work rate or accusing Meltzer of being a journalist. No one would. Here's the thing with Nick. He is fucking, he goes. So his phone's not shut off to anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think ghosting him is even really an option. Like, so again, this was written on Forbes.com. Tony Khan facing backlash amid alleged burner account scandal. And people are saying things like, well, that's Alfred Konuwa who has a beef with Tone and shit. And he does.
Nope.
He has a bit of a personal gripe and professional gripe. You know what I mean? He's explained it on PWT Pod quite a few times, but I don't even think it was Alfred. Maybe it was Alfred who wrote this.
It wasn't Alfred that wrote it. It was a guy from Florida. Because the thing is, Forbes uses a lot of freelancers, and Alfred freelances for Forbes. This was not written by Alfred. That was the first thing I checked too. But it was a guy who's I'm almost positive he's out of Florida.
And some people are saying, listen, like LoPiccolo gets these fluff pieces written about him. Like when he left Paradigm, someone wrote a fluff piece about him in Variety and stuff. Who gives a fuck if that's the case? Even if that's the case, everyone, that's what the mainstream media is. It's just blowing people until you find out they're on fucking Epstein's list. And then you pretend like it never happened. And everyone goes, la, 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 la. Onto the net, Super Bowl, la 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 la, the Met Gala, la 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 la. So, you know what I mean? It's like, who gives a fuck? He's in Hollywood. That's how they play the game, dude. That's literally you can't like knock that because that's just how the game's been played since day one. But it is a big enough story, and it's not like Tone wouldn't prevent people from writing bad shit about him either. So it's all fair game as far as this is concerned. Tony Khan facing backlash amid alleged burner account scandal. And said, Nick LoPiccolo said, do you realize how crazy this sounds to anyone hearing it? A billionaire, Tony Khan smeared me. Billionaire brought in another billionaire, Casey Wasserman. So we're going to get into all of the Casey Wasserman stuff. We'll circle back to that. But Nick LoPiccolo dropped some receipts. He goes, Tony Khan, like this is him DMing with Tony Khan. What was this? I'm not petty. I'm permanent. And here's the thing. When are these from? Because I know Nick and Tony, like they've spoken before. Tone's had his number. Tone's DM'd with him. And this was like way before it was ever like it got taken to this level. So the whole time Tone could have just DM'd this dude and been like, what the fuck? Who knows if he did? Nick LoPiccolo's blanking out all this shit. But is this Nick just DMing Tone with no response? Or how does this work? Like, what is this? I think it looks like Tone was DMing him, or I don't fucking know, but I don't know when this is from. This looks like maybe it's from Instagram or X, like years ago or something. So this was written in Forbes. Yeah, here's one by Alfred Konuwa. Tony Khan implies WWE pays for anti-AEW Twitter accounts. They aren't real individuals. There you go. And a lot of people say Konuwa's sort of like got a vendetta against Tone, and he does a little bit. I think he does a little bit, and he's explained how, like, he's a friend of the show. He's been on my pod, I think, like 3-4 times, and we love linking. We DM back and forth every now and again, and we love linking up. We have a great time together, and joking around in DMs or on fucking on the show and whatnot. And he's told the story a bunch of times how Tone and them loved Alfred when he would put out the Fast Nationals and they were in AEW's favor. Yep. And then once he started putting out the Fast Nationals and they weren't in his favor, and once he wrote one negative story, he wrote a story about the black representation in AEW, and that one negative story got him kicked off of their fucking thing. Like, they have a database where, journalists can go and like write or get pictures rather for their articles, like provided to them from AEW. And if not, you just, now he just has to go to Google to make his thumbnails or when he writes his stories or whatever. Like, they locked him out, which means, and I've had these jobs as well, which means like they had changed the whole ass password for everyone. That means all the journalists who write fucking fluff pieces on AEW, they all had to get the new password for this fucking database with all the images that you're allowed to use and all of these sorts of things, right? And they kicked Alfred off as soon as he wrote one bad story. And then as soon as the Fast Nationals didn't lean in their favor, that's when Dave started trashing Alfred, and that's when he started getting called pedo and shit by sickos and stuff. Literally, like it's like, bro, you can't. What the fuck, you know? And so Alfred, yeah, he does have a bit of a beef, although it doesn't seem like it's not overbearing. And yes, is he like fuck Dave and them? 100%, guys. Okay, 100%. And Dave watches his tweets, so does Tone. But is it like this sicko level vendetta where he just hates on AEW all the time? No, man. He still writes favorably about AEW and he likes what's on the show and all of these sorts of things. So shout out my guy Alfred. He took a lot of heat for no reason. But this AEW Cero Miedo account goes, it turns out LoPiccolo actually doxed a female who's completely unrelated to the drama between him and Tony Khan.
Yeah, no.
So JJ, you were saying that it was a business number. These guys are saying it was just some random girl's number. Is that true, or is that like Tone's?
No, that's the story that they're going on, and I think it's because obviously it's a business cell phone, and I think they're going off of like when you would call that business cell phone to call into the pressers. Like obviously there would be a secretary handling it at first, and then
right. Well, Tone has a girl intern or whatever who fucking films his videos. Yeah, which is on a cell phone,
that's
obviously, which is probably the business phone that,
Exactly.
Yeah. So, bravo, you absolute idiot. And so, thankfully, this guy has it blanked out. I'm not trying to fucking dox people's numbers. So fucking stupid.
I literally have that right up on my screen right now, too. I have that bookmarked.
LoPiccolo says, cool. Did you know I'm in possession of the entire FBI file on the Jaguars FanDuel DraftKings $22 million embezzlement scheme? And I got it from family who is not named Tony because no one
likes that dude.
Damn, that's pretty fucking crazy. And like, I'm not saying it's from Shad Khan on into anything, but the rumor is like it is just like, let my son do his thing. And fucking Megha's like, fuck this kid and stuff. Like that's sort of the rumor that's floated around, like beyond LoPiccolo. You'll hear that from other people that aren't LoPiccolo and stuff, you know?
Well, yeah, because if you look at the grand situation, this has been proven as almost gospel now, is the fact that Shad Khan lives on his mega yacht 360 days out of the year. He comes to dock for the NFL draft, for the first game of the season, and maybe 2 other occasions. He never sees Tony. He doesn't care. Megha has become Tony's babysitter. He does everything for the football, and for the football team via Megha yacht. He never comes to port. No one ever sees him in person. So Tony it's literally like that Richard Pryor movie, The Toy, where everyone else, Jackie Gleason's got this kid, everyone else handles him. He's too busy doing whatever. That's literally Tony Khan.
So LoPiccolo says, working theory, nobody's suing me and he wanted them. And then this is where it got to the point where he wants them.
Yep.
To sue
like I said.
Yeah. Like he wants it all to be blown open. He's trying to like goad them into it. And this is also where some of this stuff started losing a bit of traction. Like I think people stopped talking about it as much as far as like, because he doxed the shit. It was just like the story blew over, man. It's how the news cycle works. Like LoPiccolo's done with Paradigm, and then that's sort of the end of the story as it goes type of thing, right? Like that's how a lot of people, I think, looked at it. And so he's out there just flat out saying it, like a truth is an absolute defense to defamation. I'm speaking facts. B, Discovery. I'd happily subpoena every device, cell phone, plus comm, including Dave Meltzer one. C, Megha is secretly cheering for me to drag Tony plus Peck and isn't coming to the rescue. And I mean, we have some evidence of this as well. And it's the rumor that's floated around a little bit, man, like for a while. And so this guy says, bro thinks he's making a real impact. Nobody's suing you because you're a fucking dork. Go do your job, bro. And then LoPiccolo dropped this clip. Hey, Tony Boselli. Who the fuck is that? A former left tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I work with Ray
For the
Lewis,
Jaguars.
I work with Ray Lewis, Aaron Donald, etc. And what Shad's kid Tony Khan is doing is unchill and frankly un-American. I thought this was America. Can you tell his dad to stop sending bot farms and other character assassination attacks at me? I will get your number from Ray or one of my guys this week, but Tony Khan is embarrassing both his family and the Jaguars organization. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what the fuck? I know, but now he's saying
now
it's Shad who's... I know, and he's saying Shad is behind it, though. Like, Shad, well, he'd be funding it. He funds everything Tony does, so maybe that's what he means.
It's all coming from Shad's account. Tony doesn't have any fucking money. He goes to Daddy for his allowance.
Yeah, and that might not reflect well on Shad if this shit all came to light. And the Jaguars organization, and we know even Vince McMahon used his organization WWE to hide and flip money around and stuff, and the Jaguars have been accused of a handful of things over the fucking years, and it wouldn't be the first time that somebody used a pro sports team or league to do some shit like that. So it is embarrassing the Jaguars as long as their families owned it and they've had these controversies. So I don't know what this video is, though. Like, what are they talking about?
Chad Kroger.
What up? Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
What up, Council? My name is Chad Kroger.
So isn't that the singer of Nickelback, Chad Kroger? Look at this.
People have
I come to you with a big request. I love the Vans Off the Wall skate park here in Huntington, and I frequently go there to rip.
This is just him memeing. I frequently go there to rip on my scooter with JT. I think he's just memeing right now. Yeah, Nick LoPiccolo is just like, I work with these people and I'll get your number from whoever, if whatever. So I don't know, dragging other people into this shit, I feel like. But look, though, he kind of makes amends with Jon Alba, and we see that with Nick a few times. So he responds, and when Jon Alba's like, it's a story I hear about agents all the time. It's happened to me. Nick LoPiccolo goes, trust me, I can let untrue things roll right off my back. I can let half-true things roll right off my back, too. I don't have to address everything publicly just to win an argument on Twitter with a bunch of people I've never met who don't know or understand a single soul in Hollywood. This is me handling it with grace, believe it or not. That's why I won't at her or give you the Twitterverse a single detail or thought, positive, negative, or indifferent. I reached out to her privately. She has every right to post whatever she wants. It's a free country. I will defend her right to feel however she feels about anything, about me, about the business, about the weather in Vancouver, because she's a professional and she deserves that respect, even if I think it's unicorns and BS or anywhere in between that and reality. I will defend her right to say I have a third arm coming out of my forehead. You get the point. You inexplicably decided to involve yourself in a pile on publicly. This is the least shocking thing. Get the fuck out of here. You want to be respected as a journalist respectfully. No, I will not correct it respectfully. Jon Alba says, glad you addressed it. I commented to offer her understanding as someone who's been there before. It wasn't about you specifically, but the process in general, a frustrating one for talent in transition, and you misread it. I have no opinions on you as I don't know you. I don't believe that. I think Jon Alba was saying some
Alba
shit.
Trying to save.
And then I think at one point, Nick LoPiccolo, I don't know. Yeah, so he goes, dude, you are not taking the hint. Right? When he said, like, oh, if I was a grifter, whatever.
Yeah.
I know, but Nick, I think, like, squashed the beef with him. So, like, he reached out to apologize with Dave. He squashes the beef with Alba somewhere. He's like, I can't remember. He was like, dude, it's all good. I wish you nothing but the best, whatever the fuck. And then this dude who was showing up at his house. So someone was showing, I don't know, like, did some shit get deleted and isn't in my bookmarks? I'm not sure. But so what happened was someone was showing up at his fucking house. And then the guy who was showing up at his house, Nick LoPiccolo fucking signed, or like, he dropped a DM. Maybe Nick deleted these because, yeah, they're not in here. I swear they were. But so Nick dropped like a DM. He got a message from someone. And I guess it was like his relative's house. Someone kept showing up to it, like with a bat or something. And Nick was like, yeah, if you show up here, fucking close the front gate and shit. We have you on camera. And then someone DM'd Nick, like saying, Nick, and Nick posted this, like, Nick, this person keeps coming here. I hope you're okay. Like, I don't know what's going on. I told them to leave us alone. And Nick isn't, he said he just wanted to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. And then Nick was like posting like ring camera videos of this guy and whatnot. And then Nick was posting shit that he signed the fucking guy. Like he was like, nah, this guy's cool now. And then someone was like tweeted out, oh, Nick LoPiccolo gangster moves, signs the enemy. And then Nick was like retweeting that and being like, yeah, fucking I'm playing 4D chess or that sort of thing. Did you see that? Are you familiar? Like we were talking about that boss guy earlier. I think it's that guy. And Nick's like, yeah, I signed him. This guy's cool now. Don't like whatever. We're all good now. Everything's squashed or some shit. Did you hear or see that shit on his Twitter? It's all gone now out of my bookmarks, but
yeah, I must have missed that when it happened because I
Isn't
was
that
just
crazy
checking
though?
myself.
So he's like squashing all beefs and maybe that's a different guy even. I don't know, but it was more of an Instagram beef. Like, do you remember when Nick LoPiccolo took a hiatus from Twitter?
Well, yeah, because he said I don't really use Twitter for much of anything. He's like, I'm on Instagram most of the time.
Right. So he started using his Instagram more in that time while he was gone from Twitter. And then he came back to Twitter and for a bit he was screen grabbing and posting shit, him going to war with people on Instagram. And it was like, buddy, take some goddamn time. Like Nick, for your goddamn personal mental sanity, take some time from this shit is all I fucking want to convey out there, dude. But I get it. If people are showing up at your fucking house, man, like that's an issue. But anyways, like he signed the guy or something like that. I'm not even fucking joking.
Oh my God,
like,
it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It was the craziest thing ever. I couldn't even believe it. So I'm like, okay, he's squashing shit with Dave. He's squashing shit with Jon Alba. He's squashing shit with him and Megha are cool. I think they were always cool, though. He's squashing shit with this guy who's fucking showing up at his house or someone's house or whatever. And he's got FBI files going. And just to show you more shit, he admits like he tried to apologize to Tony as well or something like this. So we read on here. This guy says, you're having a psychotic break. The person who sent you that packet was yourself. No one sues you because they don't want to be responsible for whatever you may end up doing. And when that day comes, don't take anyone with you. That's crazy to say. But this guy's saying other crazy shit like the post where you admit to economic espionage, like accusing Nick of shit. But Nick posted the post where they sent me the FBI file plus apologized for Tony. Oh, no, someone apologized. So he didn't apologize to Tony. Someone apologized for Tony and asked for my help to put together a documentary and represent the Jaguars organization on it. Jesus fucking Christ, you guys are stupid. So this all connects to the Jaguars. Like, you know, he's like, cool. Did you know I'm in possession of their entire FBI file? And Nick's claiming that, you know, people wanted him to help him put a documentary together. Hey, if you guys are paying for docs to be made, hit me up. I got you. You know,
I do love. I don't know if you have a bookmark, but I do love when he shared the screenshots of the tapes with other agents that are like, just dealt with Tony Khan. It's 11 a.m. and he's already coked out of his gourd. Like,
oh shit, yeah, dude. I'll say this too.
I called that shit.
Here's the thing. I say all the time. Listen, I don't call Tony a cokehead because that's like crazy to insinuate about. Like when you just sit there and go, this guy's a cokehead or this guy's a fucking this guy's a PDF file and stuff like that's serious allegations to make against an adult, you know, like truly, you know, especially like a professional and all this. So I always maintain, listen, Tone's on Adderall and fucking espresso shots. But if people like that are coming out saying it, I mean, I've had other people go, no, tell me no comment when that has discussions come up of whether or not. And it's like, okay, if you're not willing to say no, then what does that mean? You know, it's kind of, that's pretty much worse than saying yes in a way, you know, because if you say yes, it's like, we'll prove it then. But when you're like, no comment, it's like, oh, fuck, you know, you have a story, don't you? So I just want to put that out there anecdotally, but here's the thing, like Jacksonville Jaguars virtual credit card funds, 17.2 million. I don't know what the fuck this is about. This is just some random blurry screenshot.
Part of the embezzlement thing that he was talking about with DraftKings.
So that is fucking crazy if this is like an FBI file, but what is he going to do?
That's the packet because he said, I have the FBI file, and that's person saying that packet was sent to you by you. And that's what he was like, nah, here's a screenshot, dude.
Right. And what does this do? What does him having this info do to benefit him in this, like, people are harassing me on social media type thing?
I think it's just the fact that people, like, you have two camps here. You have the camp of people that think that a Hollywood agent makes minimum wage and are scum of the earth and deserve to be treated like scum of the earth. Then you have the other group of people who think that Hollywood agents are just making shit up and that they really have no power. And he's just sitting there going, listen, I'm just trying to live my best life out here. I don't have time to deal with you fucking idiots. If you want to claim that I'm making shit up, here's proof that I'm not making shit up. I have way too much shit in my life to be making shit up to fight with freaking guys with 12 followers on fucking Twitter.
Yeah. Well, moving along here, when it comes to Megha, we talked about it. Tony Khan and his crew are sweating bullets. So again, here is Megha Parekh, and she's the executive vice president and chief legal. And I don't know, this guy here who has me blocked too, fucking with Kenny Omega as their profile, bloody wrestling. And then they deleted this post or whatever, but it says Nick works with actual established wrestling stars like CM Punk, Joey Janela, has to wrestle women half his size to look tough because 99% of dudes, because Nick got into it with
Janela started shit with Nick.
Yeah, I'm not going to bookmark that. Like, what does that? He's just a fucking indie guy that, like, what does that do for him? It doesn't.
Dude, Janela is always punching above his weight class to try to stay relevant.
And yeah, Janela, like, he's not going back to AEW anytime soon, and he'll never be in WWE. So who gives a fuck?
Right.
You know, it's so irrelevant to any of this. He was just getting in the mix. But he says, do these tweets that he made make him look sane? You never answered my question, just ignored it. It looks like Nick's gone on a cocaine binge and now got embarrassed and deleted his account. And again, a lot of people say Nick's a fucking cokehead and shit because of the way he tweets. And he does, like, if you see... If, you know, he sends a lot of messages and stuff, you can see the way he screen grabs it himself and puts it out there. He'll lick off like 5 messages for your one response, you know?
I mean, I do that too, and I don't touch cocaine, so.
Right. I mean, sure, yeah, you've done. I mean, sure. I mean, I DM with you, and you and I are open to fucking, you know, I'll write you a longer paragraph if it warrants it, and you can fucking lick off 10 tweets to me. I don't get offended by it. So, and exactly, I don't do fucking coke either. I couldn't. I quit in my younger years. You know what I'm saying? I'll admit I did the shit. I never
afford to do cocaine in this economy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this in this economy. No, you know, in my younger years, for sure, I partook and you fucking party and stuff. I won't ever deny that. But like now in my 30s, I'm like, I'm too old for that shit. But yeah. So this is Megha Parekh. This isn't like a doxing or anything. We all remember Megha. I'm just showing you her and her official title with the company, and she liked this shit. She liked or viewed Nick LoPiccolo's thing. Now it's a view. Is that incriminating? No. Is there other instances of Megha showing support to Nick out there? And again, this is me saying this one.
Wrestling's not fake.
There fucking is, and I'm sure Nick could share other screenshots if he hasn't already. And he's brought up publicly in tweets that Megha supports his whatever the fuck, and it's sort of the way Nick talks about the situation. It aligns with other things, you know, people have heard. But he's here on Instagram, like doing his Twitter game, like still just kind of like screen grabbing and exposing people and stuff. And is all of that worth it for Nick? Like, do you think this is too much? Like, you have to agree, JJ, you're a reasonable guy. You have to agree at some point. It's like, man, you can take a break too, Nick. Like, or is he just mounting up? Like, is he just mounting up his defenses because he knows the inevitable that's going to come from this, like a lawsuit or something like that?
At this point, he is just mounting up his offense because I think he's still like doing what he does. He's obviously making his next plays towards whatever he's doing, whether he's opening up a new agency with other agents or just, setting up, throwing up a shingle for himself, as it is, because he's still getting harassed on Twitter, like on a regular basis. Like if you look at the shit, like, literally with these people, it's always a name with 8 or 9 numbers after it. So it's a freaking, It's just a bot. And it's like this one, like I'm seeing here, they're like, well, you don't have a job anymore, so I guess it's smart to think this way. And he literally says, I made more money in 2 days this week than you probably make in 10 years. You don't know me. Because that's
this is what people got to understand.
People don't get that when you're a Hollywood agent, like even if you were fired and lost all your clients, you have a nest egg. Because these people either have never had a real job or they have a Mick job where they get paid a dime above minimum wage and they work 30 hours a week. And they think the moment you lose your job, that's it. You're fucked and you're homeless the next day.
Right.
No, so Nick still has clients.
I've broken this down like on PWT live show a couple times, but guys, when he left, his clients go with him. He helps bring the clients and whatnot, or to Paradigm, and then or else Paradigm finds clients and they help match them up with some of their agents that they think would work well with them, whatever. Now, if you think that Paradigm, so for instance, we were talking about this off air, JJ, before we started, like a woman, another woman, I forget her name, left Paradigm around the same time as Nick or just before, and she left with Sydney Sweeney. Okay. So think about that for a second. She is the biggest Hollywood actress right now, Sydney Sweeney, and now she can go do her own thing. Do you think that's not going to attract other clients, or do you think she can't pull up to CAA and go, hey, I have Sydney Sweeney in my fucking Rolodex? So the clients will leave with Nick, and even if some of them ditch him, which I'm sure some of them will, there's a bunch that you guys don't even know that are privately with him in WWE, in Hollywood and shit, who just don't reveal it publicly. And also, is Paradigm going to try and grease the wheels and try and poach some of these people back from him and say, nah, stick with us, we'll give you someone else? Sure. Has he developed they might, for sure. I mean, that's just part of the game, and that's fine. It's not even going to be bad blood if people decide to. Nick won't have bad blood with them. But also, has Nick gone above and beyond and greased wheels and connected dots and moved and been a shaker and a mover for some of these people who are like, well, that's my guy. He would fucking hide the body for me. We got to fucking yes, dude. It's Ari fucking Gold. It's the show Entourage. Right. Do you want an
Nick
Ari Gold? Nick is Ari Gold.
Nick is the reason Roman and Punk got in a freaking Pixar movie. Nick's the reason Liv Morgan got on the freaking Child's Play franchise. Like Nick's the reason.
And other shit too.
Jade got freaking commercials that aired during the Super Bowl last year. Like
Drew McIntyre's a fucking Highlander.
Right?
In a huge fucking role. Nick also, people don't give him credit for the stuff he's done because he got wrapped up in all this bullshit, unfortunately. And he's told me, like, his whole thing was Vince blocked so many opportunities for guys in the past, like Stone Cold and China and all of this stuff. Well, and he's like, the whole game has shifted, and now we're able to. Now Hollywood waits for the Fed, like the fucking WWE. These guys are superstars, and we're gonna fucking make sure that they can be all they can be. Like it's an untapped fucking source, and and that's all. That's all he was really trying to do. He's trying to shake the game up a little bit.
Right. Vince put up walls years ago because it comes down to the union thing. And Vince doesn't want a workers union, so he didn't want wrestlers going to be actors because then they could join SAG, and then they're in a union and they get medical and everything. And that's why, and that was the way it was for a bunch of years. That was why wrestlers were trying to break into acting so they could get a SAG card. That's all it was. And so they could get insurance because they couldn't get it through WWE. But now, and especially because Vince has gone by the wayside, they're like, okay, well, we're not going to unionize, but we're definitely going to take these people that are worth their salt and let them go off and do this stuff because it's a symbiotic relationship.
Right. And then if you want to look at it from the Hollywood entertainment side also, at the same time as that's going on, what you just explained perfectly, on the Hollywood side, they didn't take pro wrestling seriously. And guess what? When The Rock went and did a movie, he had to leave WWE. Why? Because we're not risking you getting hurt. And also, you're doing carny wrestling shit. You're lucky to even be getting this fucking role. And we're Hollywood. We pause for no one. Now I'm going to tell you guys something. I know for a fucking fact Hollywood pauses for the likes of Drew McIntyre and Rhodes and Roman. If they need to, they will pause announcements. They will rework what weeks need to be shot for some of these guys. Fuck am I talking about? Dummy. what weeks they're filming and things of this nature. That's a fact. And some of the credit for that deserves to go to Nick, but that shit wrestling fans and even like people who watch movies and shit, you're never going to know that on the surface. That's true Hollywood story shit. So
and then you watch all this shit where they're at a random episode of Raw or they're at a pay-per-view and look who's sitting in the front row, which is, I'll get that in a second, but you've got this big celebrity or a rapper or the front defensive line for this football team. Who do you think puts that?
He had a Cuervo with him the whole time too.
Cuervo. But it's these talent that do it. And what's funny is circling back to the beginning where Nick talked about how we didn't have a spread, yada, yada. Like, y'all don't realize that when they show these celebrities in the crowd, they're only there for that photo op. And then they go back up to a skybox. They don't sit with the poors, or not even the poors, but they don't sit with the commoners. They're there.
Well, some of them do. I think some of them, I think we're seeing more and more of them sit and just chill. Like when they go to, you are absolutely right. But I do think that like Lil Yachty is a fan of WWE.
Yeah, oh yes.
Like,
some of the rappers and the football players will stick to the whole time. But like SummerSlam last year, Matt's seats were right next to the spot where they were filming all the people. So he was watching security usher them back and forth the whole time.
Exactly.
Like every time they're like the celebrity, it was the same fucking seat.
Right, but if at any point Lil Yachty gets up and goes, I want to go to the back or whatever, that he'll go to the back. You know, Jelly Roll's sitting there. He's Post Malone. We see it. He's sitting there behind Michael Cole and shit, watching the event. He's into the matches, but then we immediately get he's backstage saying hi to the boys and shit after. You know, they'll whisk him away to the back. So, but it just shows you how mainstream wrestling is again, and especially WWE. And you gotta love that. So, to put a stamp on this, the big nuke was dropped here. And this is, I think, one of the most incriminating things. Not incriminating. I guess I need to watch how I use that word, because I mean incriminating as far as like, you're guilty in the eyes of how you fucking rock with sickos, dog, you know? Not lock them up. Not like you, exactly. Like not you did something illegal, but like incriminating, like, bro, you fucking rock with too many sickos. Forget your
cookies that you hand in the cookie jar.
Right, forget the Bethels and the Dadu guys, the So Dadu guys, or whatever the fuck his name is we were talking about before, like, and Bixen Span, like, Tone, we already know that you're fucking buddied up with guys like flat out pure sickos, but we get a guy named in the Epstein Files.
Yep.
That everybody knows this name. Everybody knows Casey Wasserman. Okay, everybody fucking knows Casey Wasserman, and if you didn't know. As Biggie said, now you know, because Chappelle Roan, who's like the biggest
Chapel.
What did I call her? Chappelle Roan. Sorry, I actually don't know her name. I don't know
Chapel Roan. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Shout out Dave Chappelle. But Chapel Roan, I apologize. I actually don't know. I couldn't even name you a song. Right.
He's got some good shit out there.
I'm sure if I heard one, because my wife's like, you know who she is.
I'm sure you've heard Pink Pony Club. Everyone's heard Pink Pony Club.
Okay, so I'm sure if I heard it, I'd go, oh, I know this song, but like I just don't know who she is. I got to be perfectly honest. But they're clients. So the Wasserman Group, I think it's what it's called, the Wasserman Music Group or whatever the fuck it's called. He was named in the fucking Epstein Files, and Chapel Roan and Joni Mitchell. I think Joni Mitchell stood up and said something. I'm not sure. Is Joni Mitchell still with us? Yeah. So people stood up and went, listen, if this guy doesn't step down, we're fucking out of here, and we'll just start our own. You know, the same way Nick LoPiccolo left Paradigm. Guess what? Chapel Roan's such a star, she'll take her agent, they'll fuck off, and they'll start their own. You know what I mean? They have a Rolodex of people that. Chapel Roan will make sure this, you know, she's the fucking world's most famous singer, one of them right now. So Wasserman's top music agents have given CEO Casey Wasserman an ultimatum: either sell them the music business and leave. So they want the rights to their shit back, or they will leave the agency.
Which he did. He did ultimately sell and leave.
Yes, he sold and left because let's face it, he'll continue to make money on the back end, but he was Epstein Files up, man. And some people, the cognitive dissonance is kicking in. A lot of people are willing to accept some of what's in the files. They don't want to accept other aspects of what's in the files and shit. It's like, bro, no, the memes, the conspiracy theorists of like, hey, you're just floating on a rock somewhere in space and these people are fucking worshiping devils and doing fucked up shit to kids. Like, that shit's all been proven right, dude. And it's fucked up. It's really fucked up. And honestly, shout out Chapel Roan for standing up. I don't know if she's like one of these Lady Gagas doing like all the demonic shit in her fucking music videos and stuff. And a lot of artists just do that to try and be edgy and cool and shit, you know, for shock value and stuff. And maybe some of them are tied into this stuff. You know, there's a lot of names that are out there and a lot of dots being connected, but Wasserman's in there and he's guilty enough for someone like Chappelle Roan to go, fuck this guy, we're out. And good for her. Like, not a lot of people are doing anything about this, these files and shit, you know, like no one's really doing anything. Everyone's just like talking about the Olympics and shit.
It's because not everything's been released yet. They're still waiting on another 3 million pages.
It's crazy, man. And so they will leave to other agencies if not. They say Billie Eilish already left over a year ago. Other ugly revelations about Wasserman's private life while married. Epstein emails have his exchanges with Ghislaine where they flirt with intimacy. What do I have to do to see you in a tight leather outfit? Maxwell, who's in jail for child sex, horrible things. Wasserman is also under pressure to resign from chair. I don't mean to giggle, but it's like YouTube. We have to baby talk and stuff. Sorry, guys. Under pressure to resign from chairing the Olympic Committee. The motherfucker's on the Olympic Committee. What? You ever play a sport in your life, buddy? Like, that's crazy.
Well, no, it's because Wasserman. It's because it's going to be in LA in 28. So obviously, like any musicians, they want everything. They need the representation on the committee. It's the committee that basically like lobbied for LA to be the spot for it.
Okay. So Duffy McSwiggan, SVP of music at Wasserman, senior agent Marty Diamond, and several others are meeting tomorrow AM to prepare a formal demand. And so, he dipped out I guess, and sold the stuff back. But this is how it connects to Tony Khan and Nick LoPiccolo.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
And this ties back to what JJ was saying earlier. Like, Nick was posting all of this Kendrick Lamar, They Not Like Us stuff.
Yep.
And JJ's saying, hey, listen, man, something's been off.
My spider sense is tingling.
Your spidey sense was tingling where maybe other people's it wasn't a little bit. But absolute power corrupts absolutely, as they say. And I mean, look at how many rich, like, celebrities' kids delete themselves, are super clinically depressed, are dealing with weird fucking, how much shit they're hiding for their parents, how much weird shit some of them, as according to these Epstein files, there's people fucking hiding shit, you know, how much weird shit's going on around them, or how depressed they are. And this is when people say money doesn't buy happiness. Yes, poor people in lower class, and you and I, the everyday blue collar guy going to work and busting our fucking asses, and will be till the day we're in the fucking grave. Yes, money would fucking relieve us and give us more time with our families, and it would create happiness. Absolutely. But what they mean is, like, once you get, I have billions of dollars, and especially rich kids who are entitled, and they get suicidal and shit because they never had to fucking work. Like, they just were born into a bunch of money, and they don't fucking really value shit. They never really had to earn, and they get away with stuff. You have a fucked up perspective, and shit's gonna make you depressed. And people go, oh, boo-hoo, you were born into a rich life, but, like, they don't understand what not being in that is. And Tony's just this rich internet fucking sleuth. And I'm not saying he did any of this shit, but him being on message boards and having bot farms and all these retards running around fucking standing him isn't outside. I'm not shocked by that. There's fucking people who aren't billionaires who have shit like that going on. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of sickos who fucking weren't. So that's not shocking. There's just dudes who are like marks in the UK who just fucking stan AEW so hard that they just do this. Do this sicko shit and partake in it. So I'm not fucking shocked by that at all. And then when it comes to him, this is the thing people overlook. It comes to him, he's connected to people like Wasserman and other motherfuckers who are in the Epstein files. Now, does that mean Tone did anything or Shad didn't? Fucking no, it doesn't. But the fact is that it's all connected across the board. Yeah. And if JJ's saying, look, dude, my spider senses are tingling, and I think Nick knows something or is fucking, like there's something being alluded to, and maybe it's not necessarily on tone, but maybe it's like a bigger picture, and who knows.
Yeah.
But when you're one of these billionaire elitists who has say, you're on committees, you own super yacht kismets, you own franchises. Well, who was in Epstein's Rolodex? There's still 3 million files that aren't released. Like, what are people overlooking? You know what I mean? And what are people not seeing yet? And how deep does this thing really go? And was every billionaire being blackmailed? We don't fucking know, man. But what we do know is that Wasserman was the guy who was contacted to try and get LoPiccolo the fuck out of Paradigm and fired. Now, this sort of proves Ron right. And unfortunately, when Nick was like, you don't know shit, you're lying. Or I guess Ron pointed out he'll never say I'm lying, but he just says, bet, prove it, da-da-da. And then Nick sort of proved it himself. So if you want to say, hey, Nick takes an L on this one because he was trying to pretend like he maybe didn't get let go for erratic behavior and these sorts of things. But then Nick kind of goes, well, no, they were contacting over. Now, whether it's for erratic behavior or if they deemed it as such simply because they're acting on the defense or whatever the fuck of Tony Khan, I mean, that remains to be seen. However, dude, Wasserman in the fucking Epstein Files, and what he did was so egregious that the biggest superstars in the biggest superstar in the world's like, I'm out of here if you don't leave.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We're fucking gone, buddy. And this is who Tony Khan got to go after LoPiccolo, dude, and to basically reach out to Paradigm and say, quit fucking around. And again, man, this is the level of power we're talking about. Epstein file level power that's coming down on Nick and stuff like that. And that's another level of power than maybe even Nick's used to dealing with on a day-to-day. But can you believe Meltzer? So this is DMs here. Can you believe Meltzer didn't even comment when they reached out? So I guess Awful Announcing reached out to Meltzer, or someone reached out to Meltzer. They wouldn't even comment. Also, Tony Khan had Casey Wasserman call my chairman last week to ask him to return Bernie Cahill's call. The message Casey left was, Bernie and Tony have a problem with one of your Paradigm executives. Oh, shit.
And Bernie Cahill's the guy that works for Tony doing like his live event stuff.
Yeah, so Bernie Cahill, right?
Cahill, yeah.
So Cahill, whatever. So this guy's tight enough. So this Wasserman guy's tight enough with Tone, tight enough with this Cahill guy to be like, hey, man, Bernie and Tone. And Bernie's name over Tone, Bernie and Tone have a problem with one of your Paradigm executives. So, like, calling in a personal fucking favor on Epstein filer, man. That's actually crazy, bro. JJ, that's actually crazy. That's actually nuts, man.
Yeah, and the killer is it says Bernie and Tony, and they mention Bernie. Why? Because Bernie is the professional, and they know Tony is the spoiled nepo baby.
Oh man, that's pretty cooked, dude. And so LoPiccolo quotes the NY Times in the emails. Miss Maxwell offered to give Mr. Wasserman a massage that would drive a man wild. And I want to say this too: everybody watching the fucking, because like the Epstein Filthy Rich is like the number one shit on Netflix again, but you guys got to remember how outdated that shit is. The one girl
that came out like 5 years ago.
Dude, the one girl in that doc literally is in that doc on the Netflix thing going, well, I never saw Mr. Bill Clinton getting massages anywhere on the island, da-da-da. And then a bunch of photos dropped where that girl specifically was massaging Bill Clinton on a boat, at the beach, in the pool, in his room, on the fucking... Bro, and listen, I'm not trying to get fucking... Listen, man, I'm just a dumb fuck. I know nothing about any of this shit. You know what I mean? Like, listen, I have no dog. That could all be made up. I'm just saying, man. So, like, that shit is even outdated as far as what's come out in these Epstein files and shit. It's crazy. It's dark. It's twisted. I try to evoke a little bit of light on my show. Dude, it's disgusting and disturbing, and I try to do a comedy show so everybody laughs about the shit. I'm not peeling back any curtains. I'm not saying or connecting dots anyone else isn't connecting or revealing. I'm just saying what's out there, guys. So, but we have to talk about it a bit because it connects, man, to this whole situation. And so, LoPiccolo, he goes, at least I'm not in the Epstein files, which is crazy, man. Like, And then he goes, by the way, since we're doing transparency, Tony Khan had Casey Wasserman call Paradigm about me, that same Wasserman who got dropped by Chapel Roan over Epstein emails.
Yeah.
So, LAT Entertainment, Wasserman's Epstein ties caused chaos at the music agency. Artists and staff want him out. Nick LoPiccolo says, this is who Tony Khan asked to campaign to Paradigm against me on his behalf. Wasserman wrote to Maxwell, who is now serving a lengthy prison sentence. I thought we would start at that place that you know of and then continue the massage concept into your bed and then again in the morning, not sure if or when we would stop. So he was fucking Ghislaine, dude. Allegedly. This is crazy. So
Ghislaine was never good looking. I don't get that shit.
Dude, everybody's like, Ghislaine's a baddie. That's what people were trying to say on fucking Twitter. Like, dude, she's because like a picture of her in a bikini came out and they're like, she's stacked, man. And I know, to me, I'm like, I don't get it. But I guess she was a freak. Like, and I'm not saying everything in that Netflix doc is wrong, but it's just outdated, some of it, because of the info we know now. But they were saying, like, and according to all accounts, like, Ghislaine was freaky with she was real freaky naughty with everyone, so I mean, hey,
nice dodgeball reference.
To each their own, right? But he sells agency to focus on Olympics. So in the Olympics, hey, we're cool with it. This is craziness. The Epstein files are crazy. Mm-hmm. And then look at what Nick's pointing out here. Do you realize how crazy this sounds to anyone hearing it? And this is the problem before I read his thing. It's cognitive dissonance. Like, all this crazy Epstein file shit's coming out, but nobody can even, like, we can't even wrap our heads around it. So no one really is even doing anything about it. And Nick sort of points this out, but in a personal way. Like, this is his own personal experience he's having with this Tone situation. And he goes, a billionaire, Tony Khan, smeared me. Billionaire brought in another billionaire, Casey Wasserman, who is on the LA Olympics chair, to influence my career through my agency chairman, whose own two brothers, TG and AG, are also both billionaires. Meanwhile, the Epstein files are released. Powerful people step back. Businesses change hands. Casey's, Ghislaine Maxwell emails go public. That same billionaire took Tony Khan and his management partner, Bernie Cowell, Dead & Co., the Lumineers, Orville Peck, who ironically just fired Wasserman, called in July asking him to escalate things with my agency chair at Paradigm. After Tony already ran a paid smear on top of my July 13 post of my 5-year-old daughter, it failed. It failed to run me off X. I still represent wrestlers. I worked for the first 10 years of my Paradigm career in Casey's grandfather, Lou Wasserman's historic offices at 360 Crescent Drive in Beverly Hills. Those offices were originally MCA. For anyone who doesn't know the history, MCA was eventually broken up by RFK's Justice Department, and it later became Universal Studios. Marilyn Monroe and Marlon Brando were represented by MCA in that same building by my buddy Adam's late father, Jay Cantor. I'm expected to pretend this is normal internet drama. It sounds fake until you realize it's documented, and I'm not speculating. I'm right. Just to be clear, I'm good. I still represent all of my clients. Boom. Nothing collapsed. Nothing broke. I'm simply calling truth to light. I know how the game is played, and I signed up to play it. No one plays me. Damn, it's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about control and if you can take it. And listen,
the only thing he forgot was to put at the end, by the way, I'm good and I'm an excellent swimmer.
Well, exactly. And I know I'm saying some crazy shit. And if I fucking die tomorrow, guys, look into it. Like, I'm a fucking, I love my life. Everything's good, right? And I'm not saying anything. People are saying way crazier shit. If you think what Nick's even saying happened to him is that crazy, and I know people are like, no, he's just talking shit, making it up. Just look at all the shit leaking out and tell me that isn't even 10 times crazier than this. How could this not be something that happened? And we know, like, we've seen the DMs. He leaked it out. Tone's got Epstein filers reaching out on his behalf to fucking sabotage this guy, or at least give him talkings to. And he did leave Paradigm. And ultimately, I just hope Nick leaves this shit alone, and he leaves Brittany alone, or don't leave it alone. If he has some master plan that I don't understand, then just keep doing your thing. But as far as I'm concerned, like, I just don't want to see you more victimized in all of this, buddy. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you went to war, you rolled your sleeves up, you unveiled and uncovered the ugliest, darkest side of the IWC, and your work here's done, bud. You know, like your work here's done. I think people get the picture, and I think people understand, you know, how actually deep it went. It wasn't just you spurging out. It's not Nick just spurging out. Like, they were getting the highest level of people involved to talk to fucking Nick. Why? Because he's operating at the highest level in his field, and clearly Tone felt backed into a corner and shit by what Nick was saying, so he backed him into a corner, and then Nick had to fucking go off and drop the truth bombs. But Nick's been pretty quiet lately on his Twitter and shit, if I'm not mistaken. It's like, let's go home, donkey. You know, like, you did your job, Nick. Don't keep fucking engaging. Like, if these are 20 follower whatevers, if we see them going after you, we automatically assume. But Nick's banner right now on his Twitter is Kendrick. So I feel like he's got some aces up his sleeve. He hasn't quite played yet. What your little bow you want to put on this whole situation? And what's anything you just need to get off that you haven't said in the last 2 hours?
I mean, I think the perfect little bow is a post that Nick made 17 hours ago, where someone said about him, "Imagine being this bitter," and he just quote tweeted and said, "Imagine I give a fuck what you people post about me on X."
Yeah,
that's all the mic drop he needs. I mean, he's still fucked with these people, which is fine. Like, if he's just got some spare time to fuck with these people and he wants to do it, sure, no problem. Expose as many bots as you want. I'm with you. I'm right there in the trenches. Fucking, because I got bots coming after me every fucking day. My block list has probably grown 12 times its normal size in the past year.
Bro,
like,
me too. In the last like fucking year, yeah, I stopped giving a fuck about if I just blocked. When I see people doing any like violent rhetoric towards anyone else, I just block your ass. And that's the problem too. You have people now who will make whole ass accounts to pretend they're like a WWE fan or something, just to make violent rhetoric. And AEW, I'm sure there's people who who make AEW stan accounts and then say violent rhetoric towards other people to make them look bad as well. I'm sure it happens on both sides. Again, this isn't like a one-sided thing, but yeah, I hope we did a good job of fucking chronicling all this, and I just hope that he's all good, his clients are all good, his family's all good, and that he doesn't feel the need to duke it out with these people anymore. And yeah, if he wants to keep exposing bots, that's fine, but I fear this isn't the last time we'll be talking about this, though. I think there might, in the future, there could be a bombshell that really flips everything up here. So with that, ladies and germs, that was PWT Podcast 102, and round of applause for my guest, JJ Alexander. You can follow him, of course, at JJ_Alexander, at Full Circle Radio on YouTube. Check out Patreon and on Odyssey. Check out youtube.com/at Pro Wrestle Clips and patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times, where there is tons and tons of exclusive content, guys. JJ's with me over there too, and it's really worth it. All of my shows go uncensored and unedited over there, and also there's like bonus shows like Dave Meltzer Download of the Week, reality show watch-alongs, all that good shit. Appreciate you guys for being here. I've been Phil S. Marks. He's been JJ Alexander. And I will see you guys on the other side. Break on through to the other side.